morning, everybody. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Oh, get ready to be inflamed today. The Sixers season hasn't even started yet, and I'm inflamed. Now, that doesn't mean really anything as far as how they're going to finish this year. I watched the team last night that is going to be unbeatable for an entire season. The Boston Celtics are just so far above everybody else in this division. So if you want to play for second place and get a good seed and maybe you get lucky, well, I don't know what's going to happen with the Sixers. I don't know. But here's what I'm worried about. And I've been worried about it from the jump. Bill Colarulo's here. Ray Dunn is here. They can verify this, that I do not like this permissive attitude with resting players. Here's the problem I have. Too much attention right now is being paid to not playing, and here's the thing also that bothers me. And it seems like Embiid is permissive to this. So what are we going to have? Are we going to have a mishmash season where guys are going to be in and out of the lineup and you try to negotiate an entire regular season and develop no continuity as a team? I know there's people out there go, Mike, you're overreacting. You're overreacting. It's the first game of the year. You're overreacting. Maybe I am. But here's what I don't like. I don't like certain attitudes coming into a season. And the attitude right now coming into this season is too much attention is being paid to saving your bones for the end. I don't like it, Bill. Saving your bones to the end. And in the end, when you haven't played enough together and you haven't developed enough continuity, when you see the Boston Celtics do what they did last night, what are you going to have anyway? Are you going to have a complete team? Oh, well, we preserved their health. Now let's see if they can actually play.
I said this yesterday. I'm okay with load management. That's where you and I disagree.
You are one of the problems.
Yeah, we disagree on that.
You are one of the problems because you are permissive to the permissive attitude.
Well, look at Joel's career. I mean, we didn't.
I don't care. I don't care anymore about this. Let's play basketball.
He can't stay healthy, Mike. He can't.
He's supposed to play healthy. It's been months now since he hasn't played. He didn't play a lot in the Olympics. It's been a couple of months now that we've gotten to this point. What has he been doing?
See, I'm with you on that. The fact that Joel Embiid is not ready for game one, to me, it's unacceptable. I don't understand what is it that he is recovering from. And we had people coming at us on Twitter yesterday when we announced that he wasn't playing. Oh, what do you mean? He's recovering from the knee injury. Well, he had the knee injury last year. He came back. He played in the playoffs. He was good enough to play in the Olympics. I don't understand how he's not ready for game one. I'm okay going forward trying to keep him healthy. I'm okay with him not playing back-to-back.
There's too much emphasis put on, well, we got to preserve him. He's a porcelain vase. I'm tired of it. Listen, he's 31 years old, okay? He should be in peak physical condition. I don't know what's going on with the knee, but it seems like they're being more cautious than anything. And if you're going to be more cautious, you're not going to develop enough of a tiger attitude to do something against the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks. And my problem is he's talking himself into not playing. He's already saying, I'm not playing in back-to-back. What kind of a message is that when you say, I'm not playing in back-to-backs? What kind of a message to your team is that? I don't understand it. If they're gonna keep him out in back-to-backs, fine. That's the decision you make. He's talking himself out of them already.
Well, it was reported by Tim Bontemps, and I don't remember when, from ESPN, that right after they lost in the first round to the Knicks, Joel texted Daryl Morey and said, we got to do whatever it takes to make sure that I'm healthy in the postseason. So his mentality was already there after he lost to the Knicks.
How about if you get in better shape? How about if you get ready to play a season instead of saying, well, I kind of have to lollygag me through this season, so I'm healthy for the playoffs. It's ridiculous. And they were talking about it last night on TNT. Right, you got to track down what Shaq and Charles were saying about his admission that he's not playing in back-to-backs. It's one thing to keep him out of back-to-backs. It's another thing when the guy plays right into it. It's not a good message, Bill.
I understand it's not a good message, but if we know that Joel can't stay healthy, and you say, get in better shape, would him being in better shape have prevented an orbital fracture? Would him being in better shape have prevented someone falling on his knee?
Are we not playing him now because we're afraid he's going to get an orbital fracture? It's the knee that's the situation. It's the legs that are the situation. Get yourself in shape. Get ready to play a season. You wanted to go to the Olympics. Okay. To me, that was ridiculous. All right? But now you've had months to recover. You went through a training camp. You've had rest. What's the problem?
And I agree with game one. There's no excuse on why he's not ready for the first week of the season. I don't understand.
I don't like your attitude. I don't like your attitude because you're buying into this weakness. We got to preserve him. We got to put him in bubble wrap because you know what happens in the playoffs. Well, there's a lot of guys that have to go through an entire season that still make themselves healthy to play in the playoffs. Am I right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys who don't. There's a lot of stars in the NBA who don't play full seasons. I mean, look, last time Nick Nurse won an NBA championship back in 2018, 2019, I don't think Kawhi played a lot that season, right? I mean, that team hadn't played together a lot.
I think he did play a lot that season.
Well, he played towards the end
now because he's 35 freaking years old.
I thought that, let me see if I remember correctly. I thought Kawhi was on some sort of minutes restriction back then. Yeah, he only played 60 games that regular season. So if Joel plays 60 games, I mean, you're right now, if he doesn't play back-to-backs, he's playing 67 games. If he misses the first week of the season, now you could drop it down to 63. If Joel plays 55 to 60 games and he's healthy for the postseason, sign me up. I just don't understand why he's not ready for tonight.
If Joel plays 55 games, what place do you think they're going to be in?
It doesn't bother me as much because you're not going to be a one seed.
How it can't bother you when the statistics say unless you're a top 3 seed, you got no chance to win.
But I think that is skewed because when you're looking at standings every year, you're thinking, okay, well, the 6th seed isn't as good as the 5th and the 4th and the 3rd.
I'm stunned by you.
In this situation, really you could be because you got Joel.
I am stunned. You're buying into the same rot that the Sixers are trying to sell you. And so once they keep their fan base at bay, like they're keeping you at bay, then there's no urgency to play a regular season, to be a good team that blends. What do you think? You just throw a bunch of darts on a dartboard and they're going to mesh by the time playoff time comes? When you got these other teams that have been playing together for several years?
So what do you want? You want them to play 82 games?
You're missing my point. The attitude is let's not play them rather than play them. That's my problem. The attitude is let's give them as many breaks as we can so we don't play them, so we preserve them. I don't like that attitude. If it plays out that way, then it plays out that way. You are introducing a negative mindset into an NBA season by saying, well, the most important thing is to keep them healthy. I thought the most important thing was to develop continuity and win and establish yourself as a contender. That's what I thought.
I understand where you're coming from.
You keep saying that, and I hate it.
I do.
You don't understand where I'm coming from because you never waver.
I understand where you're coming from.
I think it's great that he doesn't play. I think it's great that they preserve
because,
him.
Mike, look, he should be ready for tonight. We agree on that. There's no excuse. I don't understand how the guy's not ready for opening night. I don't understand how you play in the Olympics. You came back from the knee injury. You played in the playoffs. You play in the Olympics. How you're not ready to start the season. But when you're saying there's too much emphasis on him not playing, when he was going for the MVP, there were a lot of fans and a lot of media coming at him saying he's being selfish because he wants to play in so many games to win the MVP. It's like, I want the guy to be healthy. And I still think that there could be a cohesiveness between these players by not playing 82 games. Now, if they play 20 games together, of course. But if you play 60-something games together, you don't think that this team can gel in time for the playoffs?
Against the teams that you have to play against who have already gelled? I love this notion that, and this is what I've criticized Morey. We'll take 3 from list A, 3 from list B, but you threw a bunch of guys together. You don't think they need to play together during a season to develop something, a team mindset, a team that blends together? You just can't tack guys on. And this is what they're doing. This is the mindset of this Sixer team as you come into the season. More emphasis is on preserving him than developing team continuity. And I don't like it. 610-632-0975. It's going to be a busy show. We're going to come up with we're going to track all the Sixers starting lineups. It's opening night, right? Sixers starting lineup tonight. I don't know what it's going to be. We'll guess on what it is. But we'll also go through the years to compare the starting lineups of the one they're putting out here tonight against the past. Also, Tim Legler joins us at 11:30 for his assessment of this Sixers situation. Nick Sirianni, press conference at noon. I can't wait. And it's General Knowledge Wednesday. And today we are giving away a pair of tickets to see the Sixers, who may or may not have Joel Embiid when they play the Pistons on October 30th.
I think it's the Hornets.
It's the Pistons.
Oh, it is?
The Pistons.
So
Tobias Harris return night.
There you go.
Tobias' return.
There you go. October 30th versus the Pistons at Wells Fargo Center.
Oh, we got wrong information from our man Eric Simon. He put in the email it was the Hornets game.
He and I went back and forth and got it figured out.
I got it right in front of me. The Rays show sheet.
It's on the sheet. It's the Pistons.
All right, Tobias.
Apparently didn't read the show sheet. 610-632-0975 back after this. Shaq has always complained about Embiid, not being the most physical center like him, right? Nobody could ever play the game like Shaq. And I get it. I roll my eyes most of the time when he talks about it. But he and Barkley last night were talking about that, the fact that there's this emphasis on him not wanting or trying to preserve him to the end and therefore not playing him a significant amount of time during this season. So, Ray, do we have that? Okay. So this is the conversation they had last night.
I was so disappointed in Joel Embiid saying he wasn't going to play back-to-back games. Ernie, you're one of the 3 or 4 or 5 best players in the world. You cannot say, as a leader of that team, I'm not going to play certain games. That's not the way to start the season. Now, if you start the season, you get some bumps and bruises. But as the best player on that team and the leader, I would never go into a season saying I'm not going to play back-to-back games. I thought that was a bad message. I was very disappointed in Joel Embiid.
And not only that, it doesn't make sense. The league isn't that physical for him to say that. He's a pick and popper. He's not a big guy. Me and Charles try to get him to play. Being said, the game is different. We're not playing that. You pick and pop. You don't get double. You don't get triple. You don't get flagrant foul. There's no reason to say I'm not playing back to back.
Well, he does get flagrant fouls. He does get fouled hard. But that's what Charles said. Is what I say. It sends a weak message. It just does. It's like, okay, well, we're going to emphasize him not playing instead of playing. I just don't like the vibe that it sets. And I know people go, Mike, you're just complaining about it. No, I'm not. I think when you come into a season and you have a challenge like you have to beat the Boston frickin' Celtics and maybe the Knicks, you've got to have a mindset of let's play. Let's see what we can do with this team.
But you knew he was never going to play 82 games. He's never going to play 70 games. So would you rather him just not say it?
Yes. Yes, I'd rather him not say it. By saying it, you're already introducing the concept of not playing. That's never good. Now, like what Charles said, all right, you got bumps and bruises, and you sit out of back-to-back. That happens all the time. But to say it is putting an emphasis on, oh, my God, I can't play because I get hurt during the playoffs. I just don't. I'm tired of it. I am tired of it now. Yeah, if you want to have less load on your joints, then you lose the frickin' weight. And the way I look at it right now, I think it's a fiction that he's lost this weight and he's going to, because already they're trying to preserve him. Had he come in better shape, Bill, do you think if he lost 30 pounds, he came in svelte and in shape, that they would be thinking this way? How much time has gone by when he last played basketball? And how much time is it going to take him to actually get in basketball shape? He hasn't played it at all in months.
Well, that's the frustrating part of it, being that it's game one, because there's one of two scenarios, and neither one of them is good. Either one, you're right, he comes in, he's out of shape, and he's not ramped up enough to be ready for the first game of the season. Or, two, there's some sort of injury setback that they're not revealing to us. Those are the only two options. Either he's not in shape or he's hurt.
I'm tired of the injury setbacks. I'm tired of it. Fix whatever the problem is. Get yourself in shape. How many guys rehab themselves to get back in playing shape? What are we talking about here? Guys rip ACLs and come back and play football.
But you talk about him losing weight. And now I'm going to go to the other side and be on Embiid's side here. Do you really think, though, that all of these injuries are just because he was out of shape?
But you got to cut down the risk of injury the best way you can. What's the best way to do that?
Rest. That's what they're saying.
Getting in shape.
But they're saying cut down the risk of injury by not playing as much. See, that's his injuries that he has sustained, the majority of them, had nothing to do with his weight. They had nothing to do with him being in shape.
What are you talking about? His knees are the problem. It has everything to do with his weight.
The orbital fractures, people falling on you, those are not because of him being out of shape.
He's had this weakened knee condition for a long time now. It's just not people falling on him.
Yeah, but do you really think he has these weakened knees that all he's got to do is lose weight and he can play 82 games this year? The damage has been done, Mike.
Are you intentionally missing my point here? I'm saying you got to maximize your health. How do you maximize it? By taking precautions on your body, getting in better shape, playing at lesser weight.
Apparently, he lost 30 pounds.
It's horse crap. that he lost 30 pounds, okay? Horse crap.
Yeah, I'm on the fence with
I can't
this.
believe you're so
Well,
permissive.
it's because
you're so permissive to this. You're like, the Sixers have conned you.
Maybe I have been
And they're
conned.
trying to con their whole fan base about this whole thing. It's a bad message.
It's either I'm conned or I have been beaten down, Mike, because it seems like it's the same story every year. You get your hopes up, you get excited, and then Embiid gets hurt and he can't perform at the top level in the playoffs. I would like to see them do something different. If that means no back-to-backs, if that means resting him to make sure he's healthy for the playoffs,
Start of the season,
then so be it.
They're evaluating them here as we go. As soon as we can get them out there and get them scrimmaging and get them ramped up, we'll get them. It's the start of the season. We can't ramp up to start the frickin' season. They've had months of preparation.
Okay, so this is where me and you aren't seeing eye to eye. I agree with you that he should be ready for the start of the season. Where I disagree with you is that they shouldn't load manage him throughout the year. So, yes, there's no excuse that he's not ready for the first game. But if they decide he's not playing back-to-backs, I'm all right with it.
I am tired of this porcelain doll situation with this guy. I'm just tired of it. You've got to forge a season where you have to emerge as a contender. You got to be all on the same page. You can't be a team that says, well, you know, we're all we're interested this year is in load managing our guy so he's ready for the playoffs. It doesn't work that way.
So what do you want to see?
Stop it! I don't want to hear from you anymore. I don't even want to.
It's going to be a fun day.
I don't even want to hear from you anymore.
I just don't know what you want to see them do. Like, yes, he should be ready today. He should be, but the guy's not going to be able to play 82 games.
The attitude that they are trying to sell to their fans, I don't like it. We are now supposed to be more emphasized on him being healthy for the playoffs. It's the playoffs a month down the road. The most important thing this season is not to play him, to load management, so he's healthy for the playoffs. I'm just done with it. I'm tired of it. All right, here's the general knowledge prize. We're playing for Sixers tickets.
Well, now you got everybody excited about the Sixers, right? People are going to be ringing like crazy.
I'm sorry about that.
You get to boot Tobias, all right?
Sixers
That's how
tickets,
we'll sell it.
there's still a great prize, Sixers tickets. So here are the general knowledge, and all you get to participate, you answer a question correctly, you will qualify for the tickets at the end of the show. So today we're going with top 100 NBA players, Ray, which you should be able to handle. General knowledge, Florida true or false, 50% chance to get the answer right for crying out loud.
What's the category for the true or false?
Florida true or false. So facts about Florida that are either true or false.
Interesting.
And movie characters.
Oh, he's done. The movie he'll shine on the true and false and in the NBA category.
And the idea, of course, is you have to beat Ray. And then we select an audience member who gets the tickets. But listen, it's a pair of tickets for the game. They're probably really good tickets, and so you get a chance to see the Sixers and early in the season, October 30th.
And there is a chance that's Embiid's first game.
Could be,
right? There's a chance.
According to Bill, that he will mandate that it's his first game because we need now the rest of this month to rehab, to ramp up. Bill, we got to ramp up. So by October 30th, maybe maybe by November 30th.
I am nervous,
ramped
though.
up enough.
But I am nervous that maybe there's an injury we don't know about. And when we get back, I want Ray to play the clip of Nurse being pushed on this a little bit yesterday, Mike.
Yeah, we'll play that.
You got a little snippy.
Actually, a good idea. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show back after that. and get ready to play the opener because you haven't played since the Olympics. You've had enough rest since then to get in shape, to work on whatever the ailments are, to be ready for an opener.
And once again, you and I are spot on together in the opener. He should have been ready for the start of the season.
I'm going to save my aggravation today. That's why I'm saying I'm okay with you. I'm okay with the Bill method.
Well, what's
okay,
Ray? Let Ray
okay
be
with the kid gloves thing. Go ahead, Ray.
The deciding factor.
I've already been convinced by Bill that it's the best thing for him to. I'll tell you what. We'll put him in aluminum foil, and then we'll wrap it when the playoffs start. We'll just wrap it out, and he plays.
Hey, if he's mad at you already, I don't think I'm going to make this situation better for anyone else.
All right. Well, you agree with him.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm cool with them. This obviously the opener is not something I'm cool with. Like you have to be ready for the beginning of the season. This to me doesn't lead to anger; it leads to more concern because all the reevaluating. I've heard reevaluate too many times with this organization where it's gone down a path that I don't like. That I feel like I'm doing PTSD of the last decade here, when we're talking about this team. So I go more to concern than to anger because this is traditionally the setup where, you know what, Embiid might not be 100%, but we're going to put him out there because it's a big marquee thing. That's usually where this has gone. Remember when he?
Yeah. Why isn't he 100%, right?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you.
Well, how about if we get to the root first before we get snowed by the organization who's telling us this is the best way to go?
Well, Nurse got pushed on this yesterday. You want to hear this clip? Because he got pushed on this.
Let's hear Nick Nurse getting pushed on this issue.
When people hear you guys have a plan, they think of those things like not playing back-to-backs, resting him in the middle of the season. But without any kind of setback, and with saying he's on schedule throughout the preseason, how do we square that he's not ready to just play games? Just trying to figure out. Because it's not like the regular season
Very good question.
Snuck up on you guys.
Yeah, I don't know what to say to you. Right? He's in practice. He's looking good. He's progressing. He's not quite ready yet. He'll be ready pretty soon. I don't know what else to say to you.
I don't know what else to tell you.
He's progressing. He's not quite ready to play yet. Why? Why isn't he ready to play yet? Because you're lollygagging it. That's why, because you're being disingenuous to your fans by saying, he's probably ready to play. But we have this plan where we're going to put him in bubble wrap. And it's disingenuous to your fan base.
See, I have a hard time believing that he's not playing in the opener as part of the load management. It just doesn't make sense to me because you could still put him in bubble wrap and have him play a game, and then he could rest. He should have been available. There could be more there.
I don't think there is. I think they're telling you that the regular season is not important because people like you buy into, we got to keep him healthy for the playoffs. That's the whole premise. That's what the Sixers are getting away with because of weaker minds like you.
Weaker minds.
Yes.
Now,
Ray, I feel you should feel attacked as well.
Yeah, no, I got it. I understand. I'm a weaker mind as well. Going to the other side of this fan base that if Embiid played the opener and dropped 50 and had the game of his life would say nothing matters but May. Like, there's also the other obstacle of this where this fan base also has been conditioned at this point to believe that nothing matters but the postseason. And that's also something that the fans have shown before, that they only care about, hey, this team has to go X amount of far. I understand what you're saying about continuity. I understand what you're saying about getting him out on the floor. I don't think it's right that he's missing the opener. But we expected there were going to be games missed along the way in the sacrifice for, hey, let's have the common goal of winning in the postseason in mind.
Ray, you're missing this point here. You're talking about during the season. I'm talking about presenting your front to start a season as a viable contender. Not presenting a front where you have to mishmash a lineup and throw this guy in, throw that guy in, because you're so worried about preserving Joel Embiid. You have to come into a season with a mindset. Look at I can't look at what the Celtics did last night. Oh, really? You guys think you can challenge? How about a taste of this? They're ready to start a season full bore with their guys.
And congrats to them. They're years ahead of where this team's been because they've been managed well over the last decade.
I give up. I'm done. I am done.
I give up.
I am done with you two today. I am done. All right? I'm just going to listen to the people today. You've heard my point, my viewpoint. You guys want to keep buying into this, it's a good thing, then you buy into it. Let's go to the phones. We'll talk to Stan in Northeast Philly. Stan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Stan.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's
How
up,
are you?
Stan?
Hey, listen, I kind of agree with Bill. If it's best to rest him now and have him save for later, then I'm all for it.
Oh my God, the same premise. It's the same
But of
premise.
course,
You people have
wants
weak minds, dude. Weak-minded.
Everybody
The
wants
Sixers
to
have convinced you that the only thing that matters is that he's healthy for the playoffs. And I go, why isn't he healthy now then? Why isn't he healthy now?
That's the big question. If you could play in the Olympics, you should be able to be ready for the regular
Well, then
season.
how could
I
you
don't
be
know.
permissive? How could you sit here and be permissive to it?
Because we know. We already experienced this season after season. We know Joe's going to get hurt at some point in time. So I think it's better to rest now and
Okay.
save for later.
Then
you know?
let's take off half the season. How about if we don't play the first 40 games? What's the problem? I'm playing right into you. Your hands here, Stan.
That's not going to fly.
Why not? Might as well. If we're going to rest them, let's rest them all the way.
He's the marquee player. People tune in to see Joel Embiid.
He is. Doesn't see. Well, they're gonna take off back to backs now. He's the one saying they're gonna take off back to backs. Good. That's a great mindset. I really like it.
Now, that's not a bad idea, but you shouldn't advertise it. And especially if you say I'm not going to play any back-to-backs, you pick and choose.
Okay.
Because now you got a bullseye.
Yeah, but they're setting you up. So it's like it's no big deal when he doesn't play back to backs. Because they've already announced it. Oh, we told you it was going to happen.
This is not new news. We know Joel's going to get hurt. We know he's going to miss time. But now they built up the roster to counteract it.
Oh, they did?
You know?
Oh, with 35-year-old players coming off the bench? Okay.
Hey, 2 points is 2 points.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll see what these 35-year-old guys give them. Like tonight's starting lineup, we'll throw in a 35-year-old guy. I got my pick of him. All right, here we go. You want a general knowledge question, bro?
Sure. Let's go at it.
Top 100 players in the NBA for the year 2025. So we're going into next year. You know the usual suspects. So I'm going to go down the list, and I'm going to go. This top 20 player plays for the Miami Heat, and he is the highest-ranked Heat player. Number 18.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler is incorrect. Sorry. Bam Adebayo is ranked 18th.
I guess Jimmy could be a potential answer later on, but I'm just curious where he would be ranked.
You're curious? Well, you have a guess?
He's got to be a top 30, right? Is he in the top maybe 25 to 30, Jimmy Butler?
He might be.
He's
He's ranked 28th. I can't give you that question now. Because,
pretty good guess.
He's 28th.
Pretty good
Thanks
guess.
a lot, Bill.
Sorry, Ray.
Ray, your chance now to take the lead, an early lead. Ray, ranked number 29 in the league. He plays for the Sacramento Kings.
Ooh. De'Aaron Fox?
Incorrect. De'Aaron Fox is ranked 26th.
Oh, good guess, though, Ray.
Sorry, Ray. The one ranked 29th is Domantas Sabonis.
That's a tough question, Ray.
Yeah,
that was a tough
Yeah,
one.
thanks.
All right, so
I
we're-
appreciate you trying to consult me.
He started it a little harder than last week when you got a corn cob pipe and a
Yeah,
button
that's
nose.
a good point.
I'm glad you got that wrong. Sorry.
My weak mind couldn't put together.
That's right. Your weak mind, your weak young mind couldn't process that.
It's all right. Sabonis is going to play 75 games this year.
He probably will play
You better
75
believe it.
games, and I guarantee you he's not saying I'm going to take off back-to-backs.
Yeah, and everybody tunes in for
And
Sabonis.
they're about the same age, aren't they?
But, Mike,
What?
I just want to – I know we're
But Mike.
I know we're talking in circles here. But
Mike, he always gets hurt, and he's never ready for the playoffs. So this is a good strategy.
No, I want you to, and this is Ray, I believe, agrees with me in this line of thinking. You can be angry and upset that Joel is not ready for the start of the season, and at the same time still be supportive of, yes, let's load manage him. Right. You agree with that. You're not happy that he's not ready for game 1, but you're still okay with load management.
Because the emphasis that's bugging me is the emphasis on load management over actually playing. We have heard more about him not playing than playing, and that's what's aggravating me. Mitch in Phoenix, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mitch.
Mike, you're so on. Your cohorts are so confused. Your fan base is so disappointed that they're confused. This Embiid story will never end. He doesn't have an injury. He has a condition called chondralacia of the patella. I've had that most of my adult life. It does not go away. It flares up. It flares down. Sometimes you have to drain fluid. He's never going to be 100%. You're lucky if you can get 70%.
Well, listen, I don't know what to say to that. When he's had this condition, he's still been a dominant player. Okay? So.
Well, wait a minute. Are you defending him now?
He's a dominant player, and I want him to play. What am I I'm not against him. I'm saying this whole mindset of preserving is not a good mindset to start a season with.
Absolutely not. Look at the 2 stars on the Lakers last night. They had an opening game also, and they were very much there, and one of them scored 35 points. So what you get out of Embiid is a disappointing tenure because he never took them, or the team never took him to the promised land. And you're right. The most important thing missing from him not playing tonight is the new people that they added to the team. There's no cohesion. That won't happen for about 10, 12, maybe 15 games. So he sets it backwards to what they're trying
It'll take longer than that. It'll take longer 10, 15 games. It'll take half a season. And that's my problem. Because you're not going to get that continuity if he's in and out of the lineup all the time. But the other side of it is, well, he's in and out of the lineup. You're preserving him for the playoffs. Okay. You have that thought. You take that to Starbucks. See what they give you.
I thought you were okay with the kid gloves.
Now I'm okay.
We're convincing him, right?
I've been convinced. Sometimes you got to side with stupidity.
Right. We were called weak-minded and stupid so far, and it's only 10:45.
Yeah. You guys are on my crap list today. I have news for you.
Just wait till Sirianni speaks.
Mike didn't get a lot of sleep last night because he had a late night.
Mike didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Went to a movie premiere. It was actually pretty good, I got to say. This movie that's on that, I know it's another station, but that Wing Bowl movie was really well done. FedEx Ed on a cell. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. FedEx Ed.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
What's going on, FedEx?
Me and you are old school, Mike. You know, that the athlete of today is a whole different...
No, see, I'm not that, Ed. I'm not old school and the athlete today. I understand why guys have to sit out. This is a pace in the NBA that's never seen. It grinds you up. I get it. My problem here is not that he's going to miss some games. I already know he's going to miss some games. My problem is they're selling you that at the jump of a season that's supposed to have some promise. That's my problem with it.
Yeah, you know how you always used to say, I've been listening to you for years, you used to say the athlete likes the lifestyle, but they don't want to, play the game, put the effort out.
I see you're missing my point totally.
That's not the case here?
No, I'm not going old school here, like get off my lawn. What I'm saying is, I understand that you have to load manage guys in this league. I get it. Because of the pay. These are older guys that have conditions. I don't understand this whole thing where he needs another week to ramp up or whatever because they want to preserve. The emphasis is too much on preserving him because of what's happened in the past. And I say, get ready for a season. Let's get a good front. Let's show what you're all about. You need to play together as much as you can because you have like 8 different players on this team now.
How about less minutes, Mike?
Well, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. There's going to be less minutes. I understand that's going to happen. So maybe you play him and you play him 30 minutes and then you ramp up that way. I don't understand this ramp up thing. Where's he ramping up? At their training facility? He's not playing They're not play unless you play and get into basketball shape. You're never getting into basketball shape.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike, but it does hurt the fans because I want to see him play, and he's not playing.
Yeah. All right, FedEx Ed, you want to play general knowledge against Ray?
Sure.
All right, right. FedEx. Here we go. This is the general knowledge category. So the question is, what boy with a girl's name was sung about by Johnny Cash?
Oh, I'm old school. See, I know this. That's a boy named Sue.
A boy named Sue is correct. Hold on. FedEx Ed is in the clubhouse with the lead.
That was a pretty easy one.
One correct answer.
That's an easy one for an old timer like FedEx Ed. Like once he started the call and said these new athletes, he shouldn't have gotten that question.
All right.
We should have given that to a younger person.
Ray, I got to give you this. What island did Dutch colonists buy from Native Americans for 60 guilders worth of trade goods? Today, this island has a land value of nearly $2 trillion.
The Dutch bought it from
Dutch colonists buy from the Native Americans for 60 guilders worth of trade goods.
That's worth what now?
$2 trillion.
Jamaica.
No, it would be the island of Manhattan, right? That you learned in your history books was sold by Native Americans for like $60.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Bill?
Well, I knew there weren't Native Americans in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Island Manhattan is not the first island I
The
think of.
education that the kids get today. Mike Missanelli Show returns after this. to us by Grungo Law. Your law firm when you need help because of an injury. Pray for peace. Prepare for trial. GrungoLaw.com. 10 o'clock hour. Window Nation brought it to us. Take advantage of their 50% off sale on all style windows. And no down payment, no payments, and no interest for 12 full months. All you got to do is call 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. Right, the Sixers start the season tonight. Tim Legler will join us in about a half an hour. We'll assess what the Sixers are. If you heard our first hour, you know what side I'm on. You know what side Ray and Bill are on. One quote from Nick Nurse that I'm reading. He says, listen, I really think that we're smart, sticking with the plan with Joel. Absolutely, I respect how good both conferences are. Going out there and winning ball games is going to be a challenge, not only for us, but for everybody every night. We've got some depth, and we've got some experience, and we've got some good players, and we're going to go out there and see what we look like. Okay. Then let's be really smart, and let's just plan for half a season. If you really want to assure yourself that he'll be at full strength, then limit him to 40 games. Why not? What's the difference? Because you're worried about him being healthy for the playoffs. That seems to be the main priority. Like, forget about regular season. It's not important. We got a text from Uncle Frank. What does Uncle Frank say, Ray?
Uncle Frank says, Ray, you and Bill must be on gummies because I find it egregious that they're doing a so-called load management on Joel when really he's just not ready to play. And it is a part of the fabric of the game being torn apart. It's an FU to the fan base, Uncle Frank.
But here's what maybe Uncle Frank missed, and I think we've made this clear. Ray and I both are not happy that he's not ready to start the season. I disagree with that. I don't understand how he could not be ready for the opening night of a season that you knew this schedule, like the question that was asked to Nick Nurse, this didn't sneak up on you. You knew he was going to be when the season started. What Ray and I are in favor of is the load management. I'm okay with him not playing 70 games. I mean, he's never played 70 games anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm okay if he plays 55 games this year, doesn't play back-to-backs. Ray's in the same boat as me. But we all are in agreement. It's unacceptable he's not ready to start the season.
But see, you guys you're being permissive of the whole concept of preserving Embiid before actually establishing yourself as a good team in the regular season. Your priorities are out of whack.
But you're acting as if he doesn't play back-to-backs, or if he misses 20 to 25 games, that it's impossible for this team to build a cohesive unit. And I don't agree with that. I think that him not playing a back-to-back isn't going to prevent them from building a cohesive group.
Him saying that he's not playing back, him announcing that he's not playing in back-to-backs sets a bad message. It just does. You know, if you're not going to play him in back-to-backs, that's fine. People will understand it at the time. But it's like, you know, guess what? I need to preserve myself, too. I don't need to hear that.
So you'd rather them just lie?
Oh, stop with your that.
I mean, really, I'm okay with him just being honest about it. See, that's what angers me about the start of the season. I feel like the Sixers lied to us. They have known for weeks that he wasn't going to be available tonight. Why are they announcing this yesterday? You've known for weeks that this was your plan. If you were ramping him up, as they keep saying, he's progressing. I don't know what he's progressing from. Then you knew he wasn't going to be ready.
They want to reduce the time that people have to complain. If they would have done that early on, people would have complained for over a month.
Well, that I have a problem with.
Here's your starting lineup for tonight. I'm guessing. Because you got 4 starters that seem to be starters. Maxey, Oubre, Drummond, Caleb Martin. Now, who's going to be the 5th starter? Take your pick of one of 3 ancient guards. All right? It's either going to be 74-year-old Kyle Lowry, 65-year-old Eric Gordon, or 40-year-old Reggie Jackson. Which one do you want to weigh in there?
I think it'll be Gordon or Lowry.
Who gets the start?
Maybe
Who gets
Gordon.
the start, Ray?
I would think Gordon. I don't know. Fountain of Youth, you made Reggie Jackson sound really young, so.
Yeah.
40 years old.
All right, so let's compare that starting lineup. Maxey, Oubre, Drummond, Martin, Gordon. Let me go back 30 years. Your starting lineup in 1996 was 1995-96.
Man, I don't think I could even remember.
Sean Bradley was your center.
Oh, my God.
Richard Dumas, Vernon Maxwell, Jerry Stackhouse, and Clarence Weatherspoon was your starting team.
I had the Stackhouse Fila sneakers back in the day.
That team lost 11 in a row and 13 of their first 15.
So what are you trying to make us feel better? It could be worse.
Opening night.
And then they won, and they lost 4 in a row. And then they won 2 more and lost 5 in a row. This team stunk.
Clarence
my
Weatherspoon.
God. All right, let's go with the next year, the starting lineup. Let's see what's any better. All right, so are we on the board that the starting lineup tonight was better than that one?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Even though they had DC? All right. All right, you ready for the next year? Derek Coleman, Michael Cage, Allen Iverson, Jerry Stackhouse, C. Weatherspoon.
Well, we put AI.
An AI gets drafted, and they say, you know what? Well, he and Stack are going to be the duo.
Yeah. This unit's probably still better just because it was his rookie season.
Okay. And Allen, of course, had some moments. All right, we'll go one more because now we're inching towards the good team. 97-98, your starting lineup was Derek Coleman, Jim Jackson, now a broadcaster, Doug Overton, the pride of LaSalle and Dobbins Tech, Jerry Stackhouse, and Weatherspoon. What was Allen hurt?
Was he hurt to start that year?
Suspended.
Oh, he was suspended to start that year?
That's according to Basketball Reference. Right there.
Oh, my God. All right. So the real lineup was DC, AI, JJ, Eric Montross, and Jerry Stackhouse.
Timeout. We don't get to have a real lineup. If we have a real lineup for tonight, it's a different story.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Tom in Northeast Philly. Tom, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Tom.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
What's up, Tommy?
When it comes to Joel, there's only one word that comes to mind: soft.
He's not soft.
Oh, he's soft. I'm
Not
tired of it.
soft. Anybody scores 70 in a game isn't soft. Come
You
on.
called him a porcelain doll. He is.
Well, they treat him like one, and he treats himself like one now. He's been convinced.
Right, so I agree with you 100%. You know what's great about tonight's starting lineup? They got about 350 years of experience combined, so maybe we'll get one out. You know?
Yeah, they do. They're very veteran-laden bench that's going to have to fill in tonight.
I think I think the Sixers upper management needs some load management. You know what I mean? Like the way they go about things is just I don't.
Listen, I don't. I look at it. They're not a bad team. They're good. I mean, if they're at full strength and Embiid is playing like regular Embiid, they're one of the top 3 teams in the conference.
Right, and we got to hope and pray when he does get hurt. It isn't around playoff time. We got to hope that he's healthy by then.
Uh-huh.
It's every year,
Yeah.
It's just getting to be a little tiresome.
All right, man. You want a general knowledge question? You want to qualify for Sixers tickets?
Sure, why not?
All right, this is an easy category. You have a 50% chance of winning.
All right.
Florida, true or false? The following facts about Florida are either true or false. Florida is struck by more hurricanes than any other state. Is that true or false?
True.
That is correct. It is true. That was almost like a trick question.
I was going to say false only because it sounded so obvious.
It did.
I was really hoping it was false.
Yeah, that was the trick of it. All right, Ray. Chance to get even.
No, he's up.
No,
He's
I'm
down 2-0.
2-0.
Oh, you're down 2-0?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The chance to get within 1.
Yeah, because I got to be honest, the degree of difficulty for Ray compared to the callers has been.
Bill, I appreciate what you're trying to do for me. The more you complain, the more difficult they're going to get. So,
it was one question.
No, he got 2 wrong.
Yeah, I've had 2 wrong.
You gave him the one where he got the
this
guy.
a bonus.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, then this is a gift.
All right, he needs a gift.
Miami is the capital of Florida.
That's false.
What is the capital?
That would be Tallahassee.
That's correct.
Nice.
So you had to give both ends of that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Ray is on the board. It's 2-1 on this bop question of Florida, true or false. You shouldn't get any of these wrong.
Yeah, you shouldn't. So we've got a battle.
All right, let's take a break. 610-622-0975. Tim Legler's coming up in about 15 minutes. Don't go away. Night for the Sixers. Your starting lineup: Maxey, Oubre, Drummond, Martin, and one of either Lowry, Reggie Jackson, Eric Gordon. Starting lineups. We're comparing them a little bit just quickly before we get back to the phones on a General Knowledge Wednesday. The starting lineup flipped completely around for the better, starting in 1998-99 season. Larry Brown comes in with Billy King. That was a strike year. They only played 50 games that year, but Larry just cleaned house.
You had to.
And your starting lineup that year was AI, George Lynch, Theo Ratliff, Eric Snow, and Matt Geiger. So Ratliff played the 4, it looks like, on that team, or Geiger played the 4, one of them. That would straighten out the following year, and I guess McKee came off the bench. Did they get McKee yet? Had they had McKee that year?
No McKee.
Yeah, when did they get McKee?
Oh, no, they had McKee.
They did have McKee.
Yep.
All right, yeah, so there you go. That then started to turn around for the Sixers.
Wait, so if Geiger was their starter in 98-99, who started the season? Who was their starting 5 in the 2000-2001?
They added Tyrone Hill.
That's right.
So Tyrone Hill was the 4.
And
then
Ratcliffe
they had
was the 5.
Ratliff.
Ratliff. What did I say? I keep calling him Radcliffe because of my read. I just did Dr. Chris Radcliffe.
There you go. I'm sure that was it.
Yeah, I went to almost every game that year in 01.
Yeah, I had season tickets for this season in 98, 99. 99, 2000 maybe. I took my daughter.
And you didn't have him for the following run?
No, I didn't have him for that year because I was doing I had too much media responsibility. I was doing the WB 17 news.
Got it. That was
I had a nightly night job.
People like Ray have never experienced a basketball playoff run like we had in 2001. I mean, that was unbelievable. It's the only time I've ever seen it.
The first year they flipped that starting lineup around, Larry Brown, at a 50-game season. They did win a playoff series also. They beat the Magic, and then they got swept by the Indiana Pacers. That was the start of better things to come. All right, let's get Nick and Delco in here. Nick, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Nick.
Hey, good morning, Mike, Bill, and Ray.
What's up, Nick?
And just real quick before I make my Sixers point. Last week I called in. I told you guys I thought it was going to be a blowout in that Eagles game. And Bill was a little nervous, but it came to fruition.
Yeah.
I think this week's a toss-up. I think we're going to see a lot of points.
They dominated them.
But now let me get to the East Coast Clippers, as I like to call them.
Mm-hmm.
They just put out a bad product. It's just like it's getting redundant. Like someone said, it's tiresome. And I know the guy in the afternoon always cries like Bryce Harper gets a pass and everyone's hard on Embiid. Bryce Harper comes back early from injuries. He gets the fans excited about it. It's opening. It's your home opener. And I can't see anyone being excited about tonight.
Well, listen, the start of the season's always exciting. They could win this game. They actually could win the game. The bigger picture for me is this notion that we have to put them in bubble wrap until the playoffs. That's the thing that's bugging me because this is going to go on all year long. And I don't believe that you can develop enough continuity with a starting lineup with all these new players. But you got to play these guys together. They have to figure out what they are.
I agree 100%.
All right, man. Let me give you a general knowledge question. This is a basketball question. Top 100 players currently ranked as we go into the 2025 season. The top player for the Memphis Grizzlies is ranked 20th.
Ja Morant?
Correct. Ja Morant. See, this is a very easy category. So Ray ought to slay it. Ray ranked number 24 in the league. The highest ranked player for the Orlando Magic.
Paulo Banchero.
Correct. All right, so
3-2.
It's 3-2. Very easy category. We're moving along with this.
It's going to be a high scoring.
It should be high scoring this show today. All right. What's the matter? What's the problem?
That caller said something, and we also got tweeted at about this. Mm-hmm. And underneath, they tweeted out one of the clips from me and you talking about Embiid. And the John Wick on Twitter says, Bryce Harper is hurt every year and chokes in the playoffs. Where's that energy towards him?
Where's he choking the playoffs?
Well, that's the point. That's what I wanted to say.
Come on, man.
I mean, this guy, Do we forget Bedlam at the bank?
That's not a very well-researched tweet.
Look, I agree the last 2 years things didn't end well. But, I mean, I've been critical of the Phillies. But Bryce Harper, I wouldn't say he's a choker. Ray, would you say Bryce Harper chokes?
It's hard to use the numbers of him in the postseason and get to choker. Have things gone poorly in big moments for that entire group as a team? Yeah, but hard to pin the choker label to him.
Good Twitter handle, though, John Wick.
Yeah, pretty good. Dantes in Bethlehem. What's up, Dantes?
Oh, great show, guys, man. I've been on hold for a while, but it was well worth it. Season opener. I'm excited, but, you know, it is disappointing. Come on. Game 1 of the season, and Joel Embiid can't play.
No, he's not going to play for a week, by the way. You're not going to see him for at least a week.
At least. That's the problem.
At least a week. Not ready to play. He's not quote unquote ramped up.
Dude, I agree with you, Mikey Miss. Dude, I'm telling you, the kid. It's all about the kid. You know, it's all about Tyrese, man. Paul George, I love him, okay, but he's soft. All right, he's always injured. Joel is, I mean, he's an MVP, right? But again, I always tell my people, my team, the best ability is reliability. It's all about the kid, guys. Let's go Sixers.
All right, man. General knowledge question. First of all, if you think Tyrese Maxey can carry this team, you're crazy. Good player. He can't carry him. He can't carry him. Come on. He's a 6'2" guard. He's not going to be able to carry him. What's going to carry this team are three of them together?
Listen, I do not disagree with that whatsoever. All I'm saying is Nostradamus is going to tell you one little fact. Tyrese Maxey will be in the MVP discussion.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know about that, but we'll see. All right, here's your general knowledge question. What notorious criminal Ted Kaczynski is better known as? What is notorious criminal Ted Kaczynski?
The Iceman.
I'm sorry, what?
The Iceman.
The Iceman is incorrect. The Iceman, that was Kalinowski. Kalinowski was the Iceman.
So wait, Ted Kaczynski.
Ted Kaczynski.
What serial killer?
Come on, man. He wasn't a serial killer. He was a notorious criminal.
Oh, a notorious criminal.
Thought we were going
Ted Kaczynski was the... You don't know this, huh?
I don't know it. Ray, you have no clue, right?
No, once you said criminal, I thought we were going killer.
He was the Unabomber.
Oh, I did know that. Damn it.
All right.
Felt like we needed
all right, Ray. Here we go.
Wait, the Unabomber or the Oklahoma Bomber?
The Unabomber.
All right, because on
he's got the questions in front of him.
That's Timothy McVeigh.
All right, no, because two people on YouTube said Oklahoma, and I think it's
no.
We got Legler coming up in a couple minutes.
Timothy McVeigh was the Oklahoma City guy.
Mike knows his history,
my God,
Ray.
I swear to God, these folks. What am I doing? All right, here's your question. In what play would you hear the quote, something is rotten in the state of Denmark?
Ooh.
First of all, it's Shakespeare.
Yep, all right. That's good.
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Who was the Great Dane, Ray?
Yes.
The Great Dane is not a dog.
Thank you.
Great Dane was this person.
Hey, Bill, you got any idea?
Are you going to Lifeline? I'll let you go Lifeline here.
My guess would be Hamlet.
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Lifeline saves them.
We got a tie ball game? 3-3?
We do, all tied up.
All right, let's take a break. On the other side, Tim Legler. We'll see what he thinks of the Sixers and this whole Embiid thing after this. Show. It's 11:33. Sixers open the season tonight, and a lot of other people do as well. And our next guest is on the West Coast to bring us one of those games tonight. He is fresh off a big new contract where he signed for almost as much money as Stephen A. Smith. He's out there to do commentary on the Suns at the Clippers in their new arena. We welcome in the great Tim Legler. Timmy!
Mikey Miss, I actually think they went through the center console of Stephen A. Smith's car to find that contract. I think they dug around in there.
Listen, congratulations! A big expanded role for you doing games as an analyst. I think you're great at it. And tonight the Clip opened the new Intuit Dome. Have you seen that dome? What's it look like?
I have not, but we're going over this afternoon and get a tour. We're actually going to sit down with Ballmer and talk to him, so it's going to be cool. I'm very excited about it. Some of our production team went over there yesterday, and they were just raving about the place. It's like the eighth wonder of the world. It's incredible.
All right, so Timmy, last night, a couple of interesting games, and we'll get to those in a second because I want to get your opinion on the way the Celtics humiliated the Knicks at the end of that game. But tonight, the Sixers open it up, and they open it up with the same old story. We're talking load management. We're talking preserving the guy again so he's healthy for the playoffs. What do you think? No Embiid tonight for the Sixers as they open the season.
It's just incredibly deflating. That's the best word I have for the entire organization, for the fan base, because, you think about there are certain times of the year where you should feel totally in control of your roster. Barring some sort of catastrophic injury that took place, the second half of last season to a player where you understand as a fan, as an organization, you might have to wait half a year. Boston's dealing with that with Porzingis, that he's going to take time to come back from that injury. So you miss him the first couple months. Like, you could prepare yourself for that over the summer. But when you don't have that really with Embiid, because that's not the case, and now you're dealing with something that he dealt with a year ago going into the season, that is very deflating because everybody's so excited at the start of the year. You want to see your best guys on the court, see your stars. Philadelphia obviously adding Paul George. The expectations are very, very high, even though the top of the East is loaded. The expectations are high. So to go into the year, and it's not something new, that all of a sudden, Joel Embiid looked great for 2 preseason games when he was out there and then rolled his ankle, and you're like, oh, okay, it's going to take a couple of weeks here at the start. You can kind of wrap your head around that. Wrapping your head around something that is still so vague and so hard to figure out really what exactly he's dealing with and what the plan is going to be, how often you're going to see him this year. That's deflating for the organization as you head into a new year, adding a guy like Paul George when the expectation and excitement should be through the roof.
You see, this is why I have a problem and a concern with this, because you want to kind of like negate this regular season when you have a bunch of new players. You have to develop a continuity. You're chasing a team that is a machine, and maybe the Knicks are better than you too. So what do you think this is? Is this about caution because they're so afraid of him breaking down by the end, or is this an actual problem?
Yeah, for me, I mean, look, and you're trying to go by what they're saying. It's really all you can do. I'm not there every day to be in the training room and to be around the facility. I'd have a much better idea. But you're just kind of going off sound bites from people. I mean, Nick Nurse actually looked annoyed that he was getting questions along this line. For me, it seems like this is something that's more connected to what he dealt with at the end of the year, and that's really troublesome. If you're already dealing with that. Now, if I'm wrong, and this is a situation where you're just talking about preservation, it's incredibly bizarre that preservation starts the first week of the season. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's why I'm leaning the other direction. This is something that has bothered him over the summer, bothered him probably through the time he played with Team USA, didn't have a ton of time to rest because of that and playing with that team. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have. I think it's an honor. If you want to play, I'm all for it no matter what you're going through. You want to be part of that? Listen, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for some guys. Do it. I don't have a problem with him doing that. But it sounds like this is something that just kind of just continued and lingered and lasted the entire summer, that led right into training camp, right into the preseason, and now here it is affecting the start of the regular season. Now, Mike, once we see him, and if he looks great, he looks like the dominant Joel Embiid, and then they're going to do this, back-to-back strategy where he doesn't play any of those all year. Okay, well then, that's more like, hey, they're just trying to figure out the ways to try to minimize injury. I have a totally different take on that stuff because I think most of the injuries he has suffered have been flukish. I don't necessarily think you can save a guy from that by just giving him nights off. How are you going to save a guy from getting a facial fracture with an elbow to the cheekbone? How are you going to save him from having somebody stomp on his knee when he's laying on the ground, or from hurting himself because he's on the ground 10 times a game? Like that has nothing to do with preserving somebody's legs and preventing those types of injuries. A lot of it is just plain fluke. And some guys are more susceptible to it because they're prone to it. He seems like one of those guys. So I don't know that the back-to-back strategy is going to affect him whatsoever in terms of being healthy April 15th and staying healthy for a 2-month run to a championship.
I don't know what to feel about this either, but he announced that he's not playing in back-to-backs. He announced that. Now, right. I get it that you don't play guys back-to-back. That'll happen during a season if you want to preserve guys. But him announcing that, to me, is like prepping people for, well, preservation is more important than the season, and I'm not going to play back-to-back. I just don't – it doesn't come off well to me. Am I out of line?
No, I agree. No, you're not out of line. And here's the other thing. All right, so how many of those are there? I know it was. I saw it reported somewhere. Is there like 17 of those? Do you know how many back-to-backs there are?
They're 15. 15 back-to-backs.
Right there, you're 15 games off of your availability. And isn't it pretty obvious at this point, based on his career, there is going to be another stretch of time that he's going to miss significant number of games? I mean, it's inevitable. He's going to miss at some point. He's going to miss 2-3 weeks, a month, whatever it may be. That might be another 12 to 15 games. So you're talking about really just realistically, is that 30 games he misses? Is it 35? What's the number he's actually going to play? And look, part of it might be in his own mind. Now that they've added another weapon like Paul George, you saw their record in nights Embiid didn't play last year, and Maxey was like the guy driving the offense. And as great as Tyrese Maxey is, we know that he's not necessarily a top guy, top of the food chain guy that's going to lead a team, to be over 500 or contend in a conference by himself as the lone scorer out there. But now you got Paul George. So maybe that gives Joel Embiid like the ability to say in his mind, hey, you know what? We're not going to go 16-27 this year in games I don't play because we've got Paul George. So that gives him more freedom in his mind of thinking there's more games now I can sit, and we're going to win some of those games. We're going to win our share of those games, so we're not falling from top 2-3 in the East to a situation where like a play-in team. So I think that's kind of where his mindset probably is. We got extra help. That gives me more freedom to rest on certain nights. But I'm concerned about what that number ends up being for Joel Embiid, and how does that affect his conditioning, Mike, throughout the season?
Well, that's what I've been talking about. You got to play. I mean, he hasn't played at all. I know they're ramping him up. What does that mean, ramping him up? How are you going to ramp up a guy who's not playing and getting up and down the floor? I just don't understand that. And my whole thing is he's creating a mindset, or they're creating a mindset of survival instead of accomplishment. And this is a conference that's now more accomplished. You got to be ready to play a season to announce that you're one of the top teams in this conference, and it's going the other way. Like, we're just trying to survive to the playoffs. I don't know if that works.
No, I think that's a very fair point. What you're talking about is basically the mindset that you're portraying, right? This is where we're at, and I got news for you. I don't know that they have a choice based on his track record. Yeah. It almost feels like that's where they are now with him and his organization. Obviously, look, he got his MVP, so like that 65-game threshold is not something he probably even cares about anymore. It's for him, in his mind and the organization's mind, it's all about, is there a way, and there's analytics they're looking at, and we could talk about this stuff all day long because I have a big problem with some of the analytics and some of the just facts around load management in terms of what it does to be able to preserve guys to be better in the postseason and extend their careers. Guys are out actually more now that are getting nights off than they were before. And so that's the part that I always struggle with, but that's where the league is. That's what the analytics say. A lot of it's based on that. Some of it's taken out of his hands because the team makes these determinations now with players, but some of it certainly is under his control. If he wants to really, throw a fit that he wants to play on a given night, he probably could force his way onto the court on a night when it's a back-to-back and he wants to play and he feels great. He could play if he really wanted to. But some of it's taken out of their hands. I just think with everything that's gone down and his lack of availability in terms of being healthy, perfectly healthy, to the extent that guys are at that time of the year, when April 15th hits, he has a very difficult time being the same exact guy that he was in the regular season in the playoffs and doing that for 3 or 4 rounds. Yeah. And so they're thinking maybe this now is the path we have to take with him because of his injury history.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. We're talking to Tim Legler, ESPN, who will be giving you the analysis tonight. The Suns at Clippers. Very interesting game. Tim, okay, so overall, what are the Sixers? I mean, what are they in this conference? There's a lot of teams that are moving up. Knicks didn't look very good last night, so that dynamic may take a while. But the Celtics are the Celtics. So where do the Sixers stand in your mind?
Right now, you'd have to put them top 4 in somewhere in that mix. Clearly, Boston's on another planet right now. They're just on another planet with their versatility, their three-point shooting, their style of play, the number of guys they have that play both ends of the floor at an equally high level. There's just nobody that can really match that. I do think Boston did not get the best punch this league has last year in winning that championship. They just didn't. They avoided – I shouldn't say avoided. They didn't have to deal with Joel Embiid. They didn't have to deal with Giannis Antetokounmpo in the playoffs. Even in the series they played with Cleveland, they didn't have to deal with Jared Allen. So all of that size, they didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. Their path was different. A banged-up Heat team early, a Cleveland team with a banged-up Donovan Mitchell, no Jared Allen. Then they somehow get the Pacers of all teams in the conference finals. And then they get the Dallas Mavericks, who are a really good team, and a team that I thought had a shot at the finals when they made those trades in February. But still, it was not an expected finals run by most people. So I just think the punch they'll get from the league is going to be much better this year. Philadelphia's in that mix at the top of the East, along, obviously, with Milwaukee and the Knicks. So the question is going to be over time. We're going to find out exactly what the pecking order is amongst those top teams. And I actually think Orlando is going to be ready to take a bite out of one of those teams. If there's injuries, significant injuries to one of those guys, those teams suffer. If Giannis misses time, Embiid misses time, whatever it may be, the Knicks don't gel, and I have some real questions about that based on what I saw last night. Orlando is another team that's kind of right there. Philadelphia, going into the year, you have to, based on their talent, Mike, say this is clearly top 4 going in. Does that mean they end up getting 2 if Embiid is healthy, other than the games he misses for load management for the most part, and Paul George stays healthy? Philadelphia would have a chance at the 2 seed, because I think the Knicks, one thing I want to say about this trade, the Knicks in Minnesota, I watched both of those teams last night. It's really weird. Usually a trade goes down and you go, okay, this team clearly won the trade. Or sometimes you say, I think both teams made a smart move and they're both going to be better. I watched both of those teams last night, and I really am like, are either one of these teams better than they were
made them worse.
Ago?
Both players made them worse.
Based on that trade, it's very, very strange. Look, it's one game. I'm not an overreactor. I understand that. But I'm just talking about fit and spacing, and just the way Julius Randle looked last night, the way Cat looked last night. Those guys are going to take some time to feel comfortable. They both looked lost last night. The Knicks were an abomination defensively last night. And it was amazing. Minnesota was even in that game, because I thought the Lakers thoroughly outplayed them. You look up, it's a 6-point game in the fourth quarter. I'm not exactly sure how that happened.
Yeah, I get the last thing. I want to get your opinion, because I'm watching the end of the game. And the Celtics are trying to set a record for threes made in a game. And I'm going, every white dude that they have on that team is on the floor. Pritchard's trying to fire. Hauser's trying to fire. I was looking for Tim Legler to come off the bench to try to make a 3 to set that record. But they were humiliating the Knicks. It was like the Washington Generals, but going around and bumping into each other as the ball's coming off the rim and they're kicking it back to the 3-point line. Doesn't somebody have to go down?
Well, here's one thing I could tell you for sure. If I was sitting courtside and calling that game, I'm telling you right now, I'm stepping onto the court with a suit on and a headset, and I'm making one of those 13 shots. I know that for a fact. We're getting a record if you give me 13 shots with a suit on. So yes, I hear what you're saying. This happened a number of years ago. Houston was playing Golden State, and it was the exact same scenario. And I don't remember. I don't remember which team at the time was going for the record of NBA threes. Same exact situation. Big lead, last 6 minutes, they were trying to break the record, and a fight almost broke out. Because that's kind of what happens in that situation. Like, yeah, somebody eventually is going to run right through the chest of one of those guys taking a three, right?
The Knicks just took it. They just took it. I couldn't believe it.
And you know what? I'll be honest with you. On a night you're that bad defensively, you go ahead, take it.
Yeah.
Take it. You deserve to take it. You're right. Be meek. Be meek. Let these guys do this every. It's really kind of. I had some people that, my buddies are all Sixers fans, texted me this morning saying the greatest thing they ever saw was Boston missing 13 straight and not breaking the record when they were trying so hard. But look, it was a clinic by Boston offensively. I get it. But you go back and watch that game again and look at what the Knicks were doing in rotation defensively. They looked like they hadn't even done anything in the preseason in camp to work on anything defensively in terms of dealing with pick and roll defense and then how you rotate out of it. Because Boston literally was running a drill out there. It was that easy, that simple. And look, they're a super talented team. Nobody's got as many threats, multi-dimensional offensive threats as they do. And they will bomb you out from the three-point line on given nights, and that's what happened opening nights for the Knicks, unfortunately.
Legs, always a pleasure. My best to you tonight. We'll all be watching. Have a good one. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Mike.
There he is. The great Tim Legler of ESPN checking in with some interesting thoughts. I don't like the mindset of creating a mindset of survival rather than accomplishment. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just the best way to go. And then when he eventually plays and when they eventually load manage, they'll be good enough to get a good seed. What do I know?
Yeah,
I think that I see that I don't like.
I mean, the load management thing is going to be something we're going to debate all season. It's just the question that we still don't have an answer to. Can Joel Embiid play tonight? I know they don't want him to, and they're resting him, but could he play? Is there an injury preventing him from playing?
Legler thinks that he can't imagine it would be the conservative approach. He thinks it's just as a continuation of what he dealt with last year, which I go, why? We've had months to get past this.
Now, Tim said, he couldn't rest it because of playing in the Olympics, and he said he was still all for it. Look, if I was all for Joel playing in the Olympics, if he can't be ready for the start of the season because he played in the Olympics, then he shouldn't have played.
All right, coming up, from Tim Legler to Nick Sirianni, two truth tellers. Can't wait. Love when the head coach gives a press conference.
I don't like tardiness.
Oh, he'll be late.
We'll see. Mike Missanelli Show continues. I don't know what everybody's doing for lunch. What about Popeyes? Can't go wrong. 12 o'clock hour brought to you by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months, $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. All right, we are awaiting Nick Sirianni, but until we get him, we have a lot of telephone calls.
Tardiness.
Yeah, he's going to be tardy. So in the meantime, we'll continue this discussion on the Sixers. And we'll go to Laura in Rockledge out of the gate here in the noontime hour. What's up, Laura?
Michael, Bill, Ray. Hey. So well. All right. I think we're debating two different topics. First of all, his proneness to injury is, that's one topic, but it's his not ready for game one. I mean, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody has said he's hurt, right?
No, they haven't said that.
Okay.
They haven't said anything specific.
Okay, and that's exactly my point. Why aren't we ready? Why aren't we ready? Like, you can't just say, like, Nick Nurse, like, well, I mean, I'm just saying he's not, and that's that.
Yeah, either they're hiding a condition or they're going along with this narrative that...
How can you not be ready? And even if we're saving him, it's game one. I don't care if you don't play him from game 2 to 15. It's game one. Here's what we're going to do with Joel, okay? We're going to put him behind glass, like the fire axe and the hose, right? In case of emergency, break glass.
Yeah, that's apparently what we're doing. Yeah, that's my problem with it, because you're so focused on keeping him behind glass that you're going to lose the concept of a team.
To do with the playoffs, really? Like, he could get hit by a bus tomorrow. What?
Laura's hot.
He's not ready.
Laura's
It has
hot.
nothing to do.
Laura
with
is hot.
He's prone to injury. He's not ready. It has nothing to do with he's prone to injury.
But this is why I think he
Why
may.
is he not ready?
There may be an injury they're not telling us, Mike, because you hear Laura's anger.
Like what Slager says makes sense. It's a continuation of what he's always dealt with.
If this was Jalen Hurts, right, and this was football, would we be like, oh, well, Jalen's not ready for game one of the season? What?
You raised a good point, Laura. Would you like to play general knowledge?
Oh, yes, please.
All right,
Thank you.
Laura, this is true or false, Florida, true or false? Again, you have a 50% chance of getting this right.
Yeah.
Here's the question. Of all 50 states, Florida is the southernmost.
Oh, that's true.
That's not true.
No.
Hawaii is further south than Florida.
Oh, Laura. A little bit of a trick question.
Ray had that one. Ray's raising his fists in the air.
See, the key was...
I've never forgotten about Hawaii since I got that one question wrong about the pineapples.
You didn't say the continental U.S., right? I think if it was the continental U.S., Florida would have been the most southern, right? Or is Texas or California more southern?
Continental. Wait. Who uses continental anymore? Hawaii's a state, so is Alaska. What are we talking continental? We keeping them outside? Like what?
Yeah, but they're not.
Katie bar the door. You can't come in.
I believe when you say continental U.S., Hawaii
I didn't
is
say
not
continental.
included.
I said Florida is the most southernmost of all the 50 states.
That's why I said it was the key to the question.
Continental in there.
That's why I said it was the key to the question, Laura.
I would like to point something out.
I'm not
to
disagreeing with you.
Anyone outside, don't say that. You're going to set them off. I'm not disagreeing with you. Say it like 3 times an hour. So the people that on the outside that think, oh,
What, that I'm not disagreeing?
for 4 hours, this is just how they act on the air. No, this is just legitimate. That conversation right there is a great snippet of the way the two of you interact.
Yeah.
In all the play.
Mike is wrong. I just Googled. Continental U.S.
He's
It's the
always gotta
49
throw in
states.
something. He's always going to throw something in, right? Have you noticed that? Well, it did just say continental. No, it didn't say continental.
I didn't say that.
Did I say continental?
I didn't say it. What I said was, Laura, the key was he didn't say continental U.S.
Why do you got to add that? You got to show everybody, like, wait.
I don't understand. Mike, Ray, can you help me here?
Why you got to add on?
I understand Mike getting frustrated sometimes. I don't think this is one of those moments. I don't think I said anything frustrating.
He's trying to, add on. I'm so smart that I know the word continental is very important here.
Don't take out your frustration on the 76ers franchise for not having Embiid play on me. All right?
It's time for Ray and his Florida question. Ray.
50% chance to get it wrong, Ray.
Florida.
Great way to look at it.
Borders Alabama. True or false?
That would be false.
That would be true. Because you got the panhandle.
I went Florida-Georgia line. I was thinking how far it stretches out.
Except you forgot about the panhandle.
Yeah, I had the panhandle.
Which stretches across.
But I didn't know how far that panhandle got to.
Still 3-3.
Kincade almost goes to Louisiana.
That's why I was going to Louisiana in my mind. I'm like, could it get there? It probably gets there, but this feels like a trick question because Alabama, this feels too easy for me. So, you know what? I'll go false.
Oh, you overthought it. Will in Levittown, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Will.
What's going on, guys?
What's
How
up,
are
Will?
you?
How you doing?
Not much. I got to call in to agree with Mike. Like, I don't know what kind of message it sends to the fans, but it's not a good one. How can you, like, say,
It's like, be
get
afraid, be very afraid. That's what the message it says. Oh, well, I don't know what we are this year because it all depends on load management and whether I'm tired of it.
When has it been proven to work except one time with the Raptors 6 years ago? Like, it didn't work with.
Well, listen,
Golden State didn't do it. The Bucks didn't do it with Giannis.
I understand why they're trying to do it. I just don't understand that the focus has to be more on that than the actual accomplishment of this team. The focus is always on we have to protect Joel so he's healthy for the playoffs, and you lose the message of competing during the season.
So how can you get Sixers tickets in advance when you don't? No offense to Andre Drummond, but nobody's paying to go see Andre Drummond.
Well, here you do. You look at all the back-to-backs, and you go, okay, he's not playing those back-to-backs. So that takes 15 out that you don't want to buy, or you buy the one. The second one is the one you don't buy the tickets for.
That's a flip
But
of a coin
that
to
says
me.
nothing about any other games that they made load management. So you're right. It's like roulette. Wherever it lands, it lands.
You got to almost wait till shoot around to buy tickets for this team.
Yeah. You can probably get them too in the market. That's not a bad strategy, actually.
It's not. It's not. It could work.
Yeah.
But it just sends a bad message, and I don't get that it works. It worked one time for the Raptors. Boston didn't do it. The Bucks didn't do it. Golden State didn't do it.
Yeah. All right. Let me give you a general knowledge question.
Okay.
Okay. I am going to go into the top 100 players in the NBA ranked as we go into 2025. And I'm going to focus on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the fourth highest ranked player for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Or is it the third? No, the fourth highest ranked player for the Minnesota Timberwolves is who? Now, again, we're talking Anthony Edwards is ranked ahead of him. We're talking about Rudy Gobert being ranked ahead of him. We're talking about one other person that's ranked ahead of this person. Who is the fourth ranked person at top? He's a top 100 player. In fact, he is ranked 75th in the NBA right now. And he has local roots. Is he gone? You there, Will? I think
We were just asking a question to him.
no, I'm talking
Blank
to
line.
an empty telephone line.
Does Ray steal? Can he steal?
You never.
No, we
played
never.
steal.
And it doesn't
played
matter
steal.
because
No, we
the
don't.
question never was asked
We
to
don't
a
steal.
caller.
The answer is Dante DiVincenzo. How about that? Ranked as the top-
75.
He's ranked as the top 100 player.
Where'd Randall end up?
Randall is significantly ahead of him at 48.
48. Top 50.
Okay. Ray, we'll stay in this category. Let's go with wow. Okay. No, that's an easy one. I can't give you that. All right. Let's go to the Oklahoma City Thunder. The second ranked player from the Oklahoma City Thunder and a top 100 guy at number 32 in the league is
32. Do they like Chet Holmgren that much?
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren is correct.
Wow.
Wow.
Chet Holmgren. And Ray surges into the lead.
Yes, 4-3.
4-3 Ray on General Knowledge Wednesday. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back, and hopefully Sirianni will be at the podium when we get back after this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
wait forever for that check.
All right.
Hey, Nick, there's all this talk about an identity and things like that. When you have a running back like Saquon, top 3 in rushing, an offensive line that smash in the run game, is the identity maybe evolving into kind of a running team?
Excuse me. I think, again, we do what we need to do to win each game. There's going to be a game where we have to, I'm sorry, guys. We're going to have to pass it a bunch. There's going to be a game we're going to have to run it again like that. And so it's all going to be week to week. Again, you want to stay in things that you do well, and but everything's going to be week to week based off of what's going right that week. And so we'll see as the year progresses.
Nick, you told us about the moment with Saquon, but since we've all seen that, can that have an effect on the entire team?
Yeah, I think people really respect Saquon, and because of the person he is, the leader he is, the player that he is, and I think that it just shows selflessness. Just caring about the team, caring about, and that's what he's been since he's been here. That's what he's been. Excuse me. Since he's probably been 10 years old, right, and playing football, and so I think that a lot of that guys respect that, and we try to point those things out anytime they happen, with the selflessness and because that's part about being a team. Excuse me.
Hey, Nick, what impresses you most about Joe Burrow?
Yeah, he's obviously a really good player who's done it really well. Excuse me. I need to step away for a second. I'm gonna have a coughing attack.
Be right back.
What in the world? It's like Bill. It's like you yesterday.
I know. This is not going to help me with the argument that me and Sirianni don't spend time together.
Where do you go? CVS? What? I hear you.
That was funny. He's done it at a high level for a very long time. I mean, thinking back on just that team that he had in college, he still had one of the guys that he was throwing to in college, and just how fun that was. Excuse me, to watch. Just think, he just plays at a high level each and every year, and this is a really good offense. A lot of respect for this offense with the weapons they have, and then obviously Joe Burrow.
We've seen over the last, since the start of season, the defense and the personnel usage, and in some cases guys being subbed out for others, evolve. But especially so since the bye. How has Vic managed that, and how have you overseen it and allowed him to kind of run with that?
Yeah, obviously these guys have a vision of, what guys do well, and they're with that every single day, and obviously I'm there with them watching that, but, they're got so much faith in our defensive staff to, hey, we think this guy should be here, or this guy should be there. And, obviously, again, we watch it all together, but they're the experts at defense. And, so I just got a lot of respect for our defensive staff and the positions that they've put the guys in. Like, we know this, though. We're only as good as our next game. So we got a really big challenge on our hands this week against a really good opponent, and looking forward to the challenge. And we'll see how that goes.
And how does that happen? If I could follow up, how does that, we've gotten to know Vic fairly well. He's pretty blunt, and he's pretty much going to just handle things the way he's going to handle them. That may rub some players if they're losing snaps, et cetera. How does he handle that, and are you kind of the good cop to his bad cop?
Yeah, I think every situation calls for something probably a little bit different. I think, like I said, he's about the result of the play and how he gets the guys better and how he puts them in positions to succeed. And I think he's consistent, with everything. I don't think there's a lot of surprise of, you make a mistake. What you got there?
Nope.
I don't need milk. I haven't had a glass of milk in probably 20 years. But it's, yeah, I think he's just really consistent. I think guys respect the consistency. Now, you might not always like that, and that's what you try to do as a coach. You might not always not everybody might always like what's being said, but I think everyone has to respect the consistency, and I think that's what I admire about Vic.
In the postgame, the team's getting its mojo back. What did you mean by that? And I guess what does that look like?
I think I said about the pass rush. get it, yeah. And so it was just, when you have 2 games in a row where the pass rush has been what it's been, I just felt that. I kind of wrote that, like I write notes on my call sheet as we go through the game, things that need to be corrected, this and that you see live. And I just wrote that in the middle of the game after maybe the 5th sack. Like, it just felt like that, right? Where it's, at any point with the guys that were going up front, that at any point they could get a sack because of the way they were rushing. And so that's how I felt about it. And it was, I know the defensive line felt that way too. The defense felt that way. I think the offense felt that way. I think the entire team felt that way of like, because we've had a lot of sacks here in my 4 years. And it's a great feeling, because that's a stat we pay a lot of attention to, because it's kind of in that double positive, the explosive play battle and the turnover battle. It kind of goes. It's the next one that we look at there, and so we know how important that is.
How do you balance the feeling that think they have found something in the pass rush versus it's happened to come against 2 teams that had some weakened offensive, or does it matter because they feel the sacks and they think they got them?
Yeah, I mean, every this is professional football. Like every week's going to be a huge challenge, and and so again, just you get it not because of who you're going against, but really because of how you prepare and how you go about your business each week. I think we're product of our habits more so than who we're playing, right? Or anything like that. You're gonna have the habits that you practice out there with, and so that's what we really try to focus on.
And how unique is it to be able to kind of be able to change like identity during a game? Like, let's say you go into a game thinking you're going to run the ball, but then they show you something different and you pass the ball, and you got guys like AJ and Devontae and stuff like. I guess that's probably something you probably didn't have like when you first got here, obviously. So how unique is that?
Yeah, I think what was unique as I saw it this week in the Giants game was when you watch that tape, you see there's multiple times where Devontae is throwing his body around to get a block. We only passed the ball 4 times in the second half, so it's going to be a day that any receiver is going to, you're not going to get the production that you normally get when those things happen. But to see the effort of AJ and Devontae and Jahan, I'm gonna single those 3 guys out. And Paris did a good job blocking as well when he was in, and Johnny did a good job. He had a nice block on one and had some other good efforts. But the effort, that was huge. Like the play that I felt like kind of got us going was that one around the edge by Saquon. Well, AJ comes in and digs the safety out, and then Cam's able to wrap around and ends up getting hands on their corner. And so it's like, okay, the game's and that was kind of a little early to say that the game was going to play out that way at that point. But as the game progressed, you just see, like, we all heard the selflessness of Saquon when I had that conversation with him when he, so that was heard. But you see it on tape with Devontae. I'm going to single those 2 guys out particularly, Devontae and AJ, of how they blocked in a game like that. And I remember there was a game a couple years ago where Devontae said the same thing. I remember he said it to Slay on the sideline. Like Slay's like, "Let me get in." We were winning by a lot. And he's like, "Let me get in, get a couple catches." He's like, "We ain't catching today. We've been running it. And you want to come in on offense? You better go ahead and strap it up because we're blocking today." And so it's like, I love like that selflessness that we get to see, and that's like. When you're building a team and you're building, as a group, you're building together to try to do this. Those things go a long way. The selflessness, and I know I'm answering the question kind of like to really emphasize that as opposed to how it goes different, because every game can go a little bit different than how you think. But at the end of the day, it's about winning the football game and what we have to do to be successful. And when you're a guy who gets the ball a lot, like those guys, and then it's a day that you don't get the ball, how are you affecting the game? How are you affecting the game in a positive way when you're not touching the football? And those guys, I just can't say enough. Like I wanted to spend a little time on that because I can't say enough about how selfless I felt like they were. And that doesn't surprise me. That's how these guys are.
Is that Nick? Is that contagious when your veteran, your leaders do that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think everyone feeds off that. Sometimes you see a play on the sideline where Saquon lowers his shoulder, or AJ finishes on the sideline, or Coop finishes on the sideline. The contagiousness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That has, right, for the toughness of your football team and the energy that it brings. Well, it's the same thing here. If guys are watching and seeing that, and we point it out and we show that, I mean, that's a big deal. Because when Devontae Smith can do it, play with selflessness, and then they got to do that too, because that's what's the expectation and that's what the standard is.
How would you describe Josh Sweat's season to this point?
I think Josh Sweat is one of the most physical guys on this football team. And I think that defensive ends are always judged on how many sacks did you get, right? And I get that, and that's part of it. But the way he plays the run and the way he puts his hands on tight ends and the way he puts his hands on tackles, and the violence that he plays with is critical to our success on how he plays on the edge of our defense. And so I feel like every week when I'm watching the tape, I'm writing up there 19. As I look at the tape, 19 plus physical, 19 plus violent, 19 plus way to use your hands. It's like it's just over and over and over again. And it was good to see him, the last couple of weeks get the sacks because he's always on pursuit. I think there was a really good play that he made in that Giants game where they thumped the edge, with the tight end. He got skinny and then got himself back on the tackle, and was an unbelievable rush when the attention was going to him. When you can beat a rush when two guys are blocking you, that's impressive. And he was able to do that, and he's been able to do that throughout his career. But yeah, he sets a tone to our defense of the way he plays with his physicality, and we'll expect him to keep doing that because that's the type of guy he is.
What about the framework of the passing game helps Jalen be right more frequently when he goes after a one-on-one? Kellen talked about how there is a passing progression, but you can green light after a one-on-one if he sees it. You guys have done that before, but what went into that conversation with the offseason as you're building that to help him in that?
Yeah, again, there's you have good one-on-one players and you trust one-on-one players. It takes the built-in trust that is, again, this isn't blind faith. This is work over and over and over again that he trusts AJ, Devontae to work those one-on-ones when he does have them, and being able to know when he doesn't have them to work the other part of the concept. And so, and listen, defenses are constantly trying to manipulate you to see, to deceive you, right, of to what you're really getting. And so I just think he's done a good job of seeing what the defense is giving to him, taking his opportunities for one-on-ones when he has them, and playing football, playing the position at a high level when they don't present themselves.
Is it a
Two more, folks.
Is it a byproduct, sometimes chasing those shots, when he does see those one-on-one matchups, does it sometimes lead to the passing offense maybe seeing a rhythmic at times?
Again, when you don't complete a vertical ball, there's still a fear that's put into the defense where they can't sit on routes at the sticks, or they can't sit on routes that appear like, listen, defense is trying to deceive us and we're trying to deceive them. Like, everyone's lying out there on the field, right? And so when you go vertical and you don't get it, yes, that puts you into 2nd and 10, if it's 1st and 10, obviously. But there's so much else it does, right, to that defensive back into that matchup. And so, I don't think you can look at it as just a product of, hey, it was an incomplete pass. Like, we started the Cleveland game that way, right, with a couple of vertical shots that were incomplete passes. You can't look at it like that. There's other things that go into it when after that happens.
Last one.
As a wide receiver guy, how would you compare or evaluate the two combinations in this game?
Yeah, both big time. Both big time. Obviously a ton of respect for T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And I think the guy, kid from Princeton's doing well too. And obviously wouldn't want anyone else but our guys with Devontae and AJ. But, again, it'll be fun for fans to watch, right? The combination of all those playmakers on the field. I know you want me to rank them. I'm not going to rank them, but a ton of respect for both. Love the guys that we have, and a lot of respect over there. Of how they've done it and how they've done it for many years. Go ahead, Bruce.
Just to follow up on the passing.
Oh, follow up. Got one more.
What goes into the balance of either zeroing in on those one-on-ones when there may be something in the progression that emerges? Like what's the balance, and how do you kind of coach that?
Yeah, again, sometimes routes stay on versus press. Sometimes they convert versus press. Sometimes they stay on versus cloud, and sometimes they convert. And so sometimes it's just the defense that balances that out. But, again, you're just trying to attack multiple ways. You're trying to attack on the outside. You're trying to attack on the inside. You're trying to attack vertical. You're trying to attack short. So, again, we're constantly lying to the defense about what we're doing.
All right, thanks. All right, there he is, Nick Sirianni. Very, I don't know, different Nick Sirianni, informative. We got some decent answers out of him, right?
I think the biggest takeaway, no glass of milk in 20 years for Nick Sirianni.
He was obviously choked up over Bill's admiration for him.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, because he couldn't get the throat cleared. He kept choking up. Bill, I'm so touched by Bill.
You see, I think the reporters dropped the ball here, though. There should have been a follow-up. When he says, I haven't had a glass of milk in 20 years, does he not drink milk at all? Is he dairy-free? Does he just not drink milk? What does he put on his cereal? There were a lot of follow-up questions that were left there, Ray.
Yeah, we really needed to get into the serious stuff there. Let's take a break. 610-632-0975. All right, it's General Knowledge Wednesday. We're going to focus. It's Sixers opening night tonight. And we're talking about the whole concept of what they are right now and what is Joel Embiid to them. The Mike Missanelli Show continues. 7.5 The Fanatic. I think we're all losing certain semblance of the population is losing our edge as far as it comes to judging the Sixers here, because a lot of people are just so on board with the plan of this 76. He doesn't need to play. The most important thing is you keep him healthy for the playoffs. Okay. All right. That's all well and good. Let's wrap him up in bubble wrap until the playoffs, and then we'll spring him on the rest of the world. And meanwhile, the team has to develop an identity with him playing 45 games. How about if we do that? You good with that?
Give me over 50 and I'm happy.
Over 50. Okay, so 52 games would be enough for you. 52 games with Joel Embiid. Missing 30 games would be okay with you. And the team would soar where with that? Where would they be?
It depends on what those 55 games would look like and when they come in the schedule and all that. But see, you and I are in agreement that he should be playing tonight, that there's no excuse for him not being ready absent an injury. And this is why I have my concerns, because if you're the Sixers, and I know what you're saying, it's a slap in the face to the fans. If he could play tonight, why wouldn't the Sixers want him to play? Why would they not want to start the season with a little bit of buzz, bringing people back?
Because they are conning you into thinking it's not important. That the only thing that's important is he's healthy for the playoffs. That's the big con. Let me read this line in the column from, I guess, David Murphy wrote this. Maybe we've spent so many years resigning ourselves to the ridiculousness that the Sixers assumed we'd become co-conspirators in it. That's what you are. You're a co-conspirator. They've made you a co-conspirator, buying into the notion that the only thing that's important is that he's healthy for the playoffs, and the only way we can keep him healthy for the playoffs is to play him sparsely during the year. And I say to that, okay, then what kind of an identity are you building for a team? You think you're going to beat the Boston frickin' Celtics with that kind of an identity? You're out of your mind.
If Joel Embiid plays 82 games this year, you still don't think they could beat the Celtics?
I'm not going to tell him play 82 games. So why do you have to go to the nth degree? I'm not asking him. Obviously, he has to miss some games.
But even with Joel,
it's the mindset that's bugging me here, that it's not necessary for him to play, that the only thing that's necessary is to keep him healthy for the playoffs. That's the mindset that I blanch at.
Do you think this Eagles, do you think this Sixers team is good enough to beat the Celtics, even if they play together 70 games?
I don't know. Isn't that why they assembled the Big Three? They assembled the Big Three because they thought that maybe they could be good enough to beat the Celtics. Why else would they do it?
I'm asking you your opinion on it. See, I think they can.
My opinion doesn't count.
I think that they give themselves the best chance. Now, they're not as good as the Celtics right now, but they give themselves the best chance. But if Joel's not healthy in the playoffs, they have zero chance. Zero.
But you're presuming that he's not going to be healthy in the playoffs because he's actually going to play during the regular season, and you're buying into their whole thing that it's the big con. It's like, guess what? We are asking you to buy tickets, but I don't know if you're going to see the Big Three. I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But you'll have to buy into what we're selling here, which is, hey, it doesn't matter. It's important to keep them healthy. And the only way to keep them healthy is don't play. So forget about the money you spend on the tickets. Forget about the money you invest in watching the team. We're going to do this to you, okay, because it's our world. That's what I'm saying.
And whether you agree with it or not, I mean, I don't think they're doing this to just mess with fans. They're doing it because they do think it gives them the best chance to win, don't they? Why else would you not play it, Joel? Why else would you have to load manage?
I am telling you that I'm sick of it, okay? I don't care what their methodology is or why they're doing it. I am sick of it. And I am sick of this notion that you have to put this guy in bubble wrap if you have any kind of a chance. All right, it's General Knowledge Wednesday. And Ray is ahead.
4-3.
4-3. So we go to Nick in New Jersey. Nick, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Nick?
Mike, I don't know how you come to work every day, dude. I don't understand how you do it. Give me 60 seconds here to make my point. Okay. Now, what this organization has done, if you think about it, is pretty amazing because they have now even gotten the fan base to buy into this loser mentality that the Sixers have carried for so long. And I heard them calling earlier, co-signing, that your $51 million a year man gets to pick and choose what games he plays in and refuses to play back-to-back games. So I tell you what, let's take it a step further, right? And, Bill, this is especially for you. Why don't we go down to the NovaCare and tell Jalen, hey, Jalen, we really need you healthy come playoff time, so play 3 games and then take every 4th game off. And then after that, we'll go down to Clearwater before they come back, and we'll tell Bryce Harper, hey, Bryce, to start the year, why don't you take the first series off? You don't need to play in that one. And then for the rest of the year, play 2 out of every 3 games in the series, and you take the rest of those days off. And now you can ramp up so you get ready for the playoffs. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Bill is going to say to you, I know Bill is thinking, well, football, there's only 17 games.
Oh, yeah, you can't.
You can't do that.
I get your point.
Regular season in the NBA doesn't really mean anything.
But you hear what I'm saying, right? Like, if it was any other face of the franchise athlete in Philadelphia that took this mindset into the beginning of a season, we would be losing our minds. But for some reason, the Sixers got all you fooled into saying, you know what? This is the way we're finally going to get something to come out of this miserable 10-year process, because we have to now triple down on our mistakes that we have made over the last 10 years. It's absurd. They have become so easy to root against. I took the Bucks -3.5. I hope they blow the doors off them.
I think the Sixers are actually winning tonight. I'm not going to have nothing. I'm going to have nothing tomorrow. But I hear you. I'm thinking exactly what you think, Nick. So,
Mike, did you see the interview with Derrick Henry over the weekend?
No.
About how he prepares for an NFL season. The guy's 30 years old. He's been a running back for the last 12 years. What that guy does to keep himself in shape for a season, like if we could get like a fraction of that for Joel Embiid.
Yeah, he's not that type of guy. He isn't, and I know that for a fact. What they say behind closed doors about
all you fans that support it, you're going to get exactly what you deserve. You know, you got nothing. You got nothing in court. You don't got the bookkeeper. You got nothing. And if he was a man, he would have done it now.
That's Untouchables he's citing from. You know that, Bill. Yeah, Untouchables. Nice work. All right, let me give you a general
Elliot Ness right there.
Yeah, let me give you a general knowledge question. All right, this is the general knowledge category. So let's go with this one here. Let's go with what atmospheric layer is damaged by chlorofluorocarbons? This is really an easy answer because we talk about it all the time. The atmospheric layer that is damaged, that's a danger to us all.
The ozone layer?
That's correct.
Wow.
Hold on a second, Nick. The ozone layer is correct. Would you have had that, Ray?
No, I was panicking back here. I was like, what is the name of that layer?
Okay, well, here's your question. What is the common English word for a synchronous diaphragmatic flutter?
The common English word
for a synchronous diaphragmatic flutter. So it's involving the diaphragm.
A burp?
That's a pretty good answer.
Is it a hiccup?
It's a hiccup. All right, so we're tied.
It is a hiccup.
In the ballpark, right?
We are. We're tied 4-4.
We are tied. Let's go to...
Real quick, though, Nick, who got the answer correct. But you could hear he's an Embiid hater, man. I mean, like, I think he took it too far. I guarantee you Nick would have been the same guy complaining that Joel Embiid was trying to play too many games to win the MVP. So it's like, if you don't like Embiid, it becomes very clear when you start having that type of anger and hatred towards Joel Embiid. I think it was over the top.
He doesn't hate Joel Embiid. I think he's frustrated by the fact that we have to go through this every year, and he's the key. Nick would not be upset if he didn't know that Joel Embiid was the whole key. So what he's saying is, why can't we have a situation where he works so hard in the offseason to correct whatever problem this is, and we come and we're ready to go?
He did last year. I mean, last year he comes into the season. He's dropping 70 points in a game, and I know for a fact, because I heard him, fans were saying, it's only the regular season. No, it's only the regular season.
I get it, but let's go to Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, who last night on TNT opened it up. The subject of Embiid always comes up because it's now it's a national talking point. Well, he's not going to play at least for now of the week. Now, we didn't know that until the other day. He wasn't even playing in the opener, but now it's a week. So let's hear what the boys had to say.
I was so disappointed in Joel Embiid saying he wasn't going to play back-to-back games. Ernie, you're one of the 3 or 4 or 5 best players in the world. You cannot say, as a leader of that team, I'm not going to play certain games. That's not the way to start the season. Now, if you start the season, you get some bumps and bruises. But as the best player on that team and the leader, I would never go into a season saying I'm not going to play back-to-back games. I thought that was a bad message. I was very disappointed in Joel Embiid.
And not only that, I mean, it doesn't make sense. The league isn't that physical for him to say that. He's a pick and popper. He's not a big guy. You know, me and Charles try to get him to play, being said, oh, the game is different, we're not playing that. You pick and pop. You don't get double, you don't get triple, you don't get flagrant foul. There's no reason to say I'm not playing back-to-back.
You see, Shaq goes too far.
Yeah.
Because Shaq is of this mindset that you got to be Shaq. And you don't have to be anymore. But Charles is right. Why announce that? That sets up a weakened template for your whole season by saying that you're not going to play back-to-backs. It just does. Now, again, if they're going to keep you out of back-to-backs, that's their decision. That's fine. But you can't have that kind of mindset coming into a season where you're thinking about avoiding more than you're thinking about playing.
Yeah, and I think the quote from Embiid was, if I had to guess, I would probably never play back-to-backs the rest of my career, is what I think he said, right? If I had to guess. So he wasn't saying that he wasn't necessarily.
Come on.
You know?
He's priming us for not playing back-to-back.
Yeah,
If I had to guess.
If he had to guess.
How do you buy all this? So you're like a fish with a fake worm that comes into the water.
Now, interestingly,
Not even a real worm. Fake worm you fall for.
A fake worm. But interestingly, because we were talking about this earlier, like, all right, he'll never play the second of a back-to-back, but with the NBA rules, he has to play in NBA Cup games. He has to play in nationally televised games. So some of those back-to-backs, he'll have to play in the second one, not the first.
All right, we're going to the 1 o'clock hour where we have to decide this epic battle of General Knowledge Wednesday with Ray tied with the audience. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Has been holding court.
I do not like this permissive attitude with resting players. Here's the problem I have. Too much attention right now is being paid to not playing, and it seems like Embiid is permissive to this. I know there's people out there go, Mike, you're overreacting. It's the first game of the year. You're overreacting. Maybe I am. I don't like certain attitudes coming into a season. And the attitude right now coming into this season is too much attention is being paid to saving your bones for the end. I don't like it, Bill.
Mike and Bill have been pleading their cases.
I'm okay with load management. That's where you and I disagree.
You are one of the problems.
Yeah, we disagree on that.
You are one of the problems because you are permissive to the permissive attitude.
Well, look at Joel's career. I mean, we didn't.
I don't care. I don't care anymore about this. Let's play basketball.
He can't stay healthy, Mike. He can't.
He's supposed to play healthy. It's been months now since he hasn't played. It's been a couple of months now that we've gotten to this point. What has he been doing?
See, I'm with you on that. The fact that Joel Embiid is not ready for game one, to me, it's unacceptable.
The Mike Missanelli Show Holding Court is brought to you by Grungo Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. We treat every case like it's Dallas Week. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. Now back to Mike Missanelli on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Did you ever save part of the food on your plate for the end because you want to have the biggest payoff?
I do that a lot.
Right, you do that a lot, right?
Yeah.
All right, suppose it's a steak. And you save it to the end, what happens? It gets tough and cold.
No, you can't do that with the steak.
So that's the 1 o'clock hour is brought to you by Ferguson HVAC Line Conklin. We're just trying to save it to the end too much here. Attention HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, and supplies for your heating and cooling jobs. Just visit one of Ferguson's counter locations in Ben Salem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. All right, we like to have fun in this show. And, we bounce around a lot. Yesterday, I having to catch the TNT show, which I'm going to really miss terribly. This is the last year for it. But they go off on tangents, right? Ray, do you have the sound where they venture into asking Charles Barkley to recite the alphabet? All right, so they asked Charles Barkley to recite the alphabet after R. And here's how it sounded.
I bet you can't recite the alphabet starting from the letter R. Don't think.
How did you know that?
I know he's R-S. No, too late. Don't worry. Too late. Too late, man. Come on, man. R-S-C-U. Don't look over here. See, you need help with that. That's why I know. Oh, my gosh. This is what I work with. No. What comes after P? No, actually. What comes after P? N-O-P is Q.
Like you needed a head start.
Well, another thing about that, and it's funny because they asked that question because normally when you recite the alphabet, you do it in sequence. They go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, I, O, T, and then you get to the letter. And I think that's what they were doing to them. It's R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Right? Is that the way it is?
That is correct.
Yes.
Is that correct?
You have to take a second, though.
Yeah, you have to take a second because normally you start from A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, I love that show. All right, let's go to Dave in Newark. Dave, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Dave.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Dave?
Thanks for taking my call. Ain't too much, man. This Joel Embiid thing, man, I'm torn. I'm on both sides of it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that you got to keep this guy bubble wrapped for the playoffs, but come on, man. How is not playing on October 23rd getting ramped up for the playoffs? It don't start until April. I can't put my hands around that. I can't put my mind around it. I can't understand why the organization would come out and tell us that before the season starts. Are you trying to break our will, kill our spirit? I don't understand.
And here's the thing. He's not eager to play because he's buying into already sitting out back to back. So right now, he's not eager to play. He's susceptible to the rest they want to give him. And I just don't like that mindset coming into a season when you put together this team that's supposed to challenge somebody. And you right away you're going, well, it's not that important to establish this identity early. That's the part I don't like about it.
Yeah, if it's not important, then don't ask us to buy tickets.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of – this is sold out a game tonight, so.
Yeah, I get you.
And I think they're going to actually win. I mean, I don't know how because the matchups are bad. Like I'm thinking, all right, who do they start that guards Dame tonight? Like who? Like Reggie Jackson probably is the most defensive guard they have that they can put in the starting lineup. But how long can they go with Reggie Jackson? Now, who plays Giannis tonight? Caleb Martin's going to have to check him for most of the night. Yeah, the matchups aren't good.
They're not. They're not good at all. But I'm with you, man. I got a sneaky suspicion that they'll win this game tonight. I don't know why.
I had a sneaky suspicion too, and then that defeats. Tomorrow, I'm prepared for the. Mike, you don't know anything. That's coming tomorrow, which I'm prepared for. All right, man. Let me give you a general knowledge question. Florida, true or false? So this should be really easy for you, Dave.
All right.
The question is, or the statement is, Miami gets an average of 2 or 3 inches of snow in a typical year. Is that true or false?
I got to go false.
That's correct. Almost like a trick question. All right, so Dave qualifies. It has snowed in Miami only once in recorded history. I didn't know that.
There's a lot of other snow.
1977 was the only year that they recorded snowfall in Miami.
Snowfall, not existent, but the other snow, I think, runs rampant.
All right, Ray, your question for Florida. Oh, he's got no chance to get this right except for a guess. Ernest Hemingway. Are you aware of him?
Yes. Yes.
Ernest Hemingway once lived in Florida. True or false?
Ernest Hemingway once lived it. False.
No, that's true. He was a resident of Key West for many years. In fact, they have his home preserved in Key West. Ooh. He was a Key West man.
You ever been down to the Keys, Mike?
Yes, I have. A couple times.
Right?
Guy Croce used to own 6 bars down there. I went to every one of them.
Oh, Croce owned 6 bars in Key West?
Yes, he did. He used to be a Key West man, and then he relocated to St. Augustine, Florida, and now he's relocated to Bucks County. But he was a Key West man.
Wasn't there a bar down there, Sloppy Joe's or something? I think that's the bar I went to when I haven't been there.
It might have been a lot of bars named Sloppy Joe's.
20-something years I was there.
No, it's a party. It's a party town. It's bars. And it's a fun town. And Ernie Hemingway, I loved it. He was a man's man, just like Arnold Palmer. It was unbelievable. Let's go to Ish in Levittown. Ish, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Ish.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's up, Ish?
What's up? I do want a general knowledge question, but I'm going to look at this on the bright side. I really don't think we need Embiid for tonight. We got Andre Drummond, and we have a bunch of people they picked up over the offseason, so we expect Embiid to get hurt, so I'm kind of glad that they go on this route. I wouldn't be afraid. I think when he comes back, him and Paul George, we're going to be, good.
Yeah, you're another one of these guys that have had your mind shaped by the Sixers. You don't. Who cares if they need them for tonight? They might win tonight. That's not really the point. We're getting ready for a season. It's a mindset. It's a mental thing. What are you as a team? Or we're already talking about resting the guy. We're already talking about put him in bubble wrap. What kind of a season are you expecting to have if that's the mindset?
Okay, I do want a general knowledge, but I have to ask you a question. Aren't you used for him being on the injury list, though?
You're missing the point. Coming into a season, we're already talking about him missing games. When is that good?
It's never good to miss games.
Okay. All right. Well, then we're being permissive to it. And the fans are being permissive. You're being permissive to it. They brought you into this whole thing. It doesn't matter if Joel Embiid plays. He gets hurt all the time. The most important thing is to preserve him for the playoffs. And I'm telling you that you have to forge an identity as a team before you're viable in the playoffs.
I can't argue with that.
Yes, you can. You can argue back.
Yeah. I do it all day. I do it all day,
You don't have to agree with me.
I do it all day.
All right, Ish, here's your general knowledge question. All right, Ish, we're in the top 100 NBA players as we go into the year 2025.
All
right. So let me go down here, and we'll talk about the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
The Dallas Mavericks have a player who's ranked number 25 of all top 100 players in the NBA. who is ranked number 25.
Kyrie Irving.
That's correct. How about Ish? How about Ish? Going Kyrie Irving.
And now they take a 6-4 lead on Ray.
Oh,
It's a tough deficit for
Really?
Ray.
It's a 2 because of the Florida question?
Yeah. Ray has not been very good.
Ray spit up the Ernie Hemingway question.
Yeah, my bad.
Time for a break.
Ray needs a movie character question, I think. We haven't done any of those.
We haven't. All right.
I've been on your side for 3 hours and 12 minutes of this program, and you decide, you know what? Let's throw Ray's movie knowledge at him while he's down 2 in general knowledge.
I know what the fans want, Ray.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. Literary. Name me a book that Ernest Hemingway wrote.
You talking to me?
I mean, I'm talking to both of y'all.
Oh, man. Wait, he's not the old man in the sea, is he?
Yes!
Oh!
Nice job!
How about that one, Ray?
That's a nice job by you. Mike Missanelli Show continues. Fanatic. A very busy day today. Thanks, everybody, for listening and participating. You know, Ray, on his show sheet, he prepares us very well with a nice show sheet with a lot of attached stories. Ray touched on a topic where he was dipping into things that are tiresome in Philadelphia sports. Like he writes, Nick Sirianni's antics are tiresome. Talking Joel Embiid's health is tiresome. Is there something in Philadelphia sports you're tired of? I'm tired of something.
I think you're tired of a lot.
I'm tired of
Bill?
I'm tired of the perception in this town that John Tortorella is somehow Scotty Bowman.
Oh, you're not a Tortorella guy.
I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like, what is so magic about Tortorella? Now, I was reading a tweet from a guy who covers hockey in this town who shall remain nameless. And he tweets, pretty telling that the loudest ovation at the Flyers intro at the home opener was for Coach John Tortorella. Never a doubt Tort style made for Philly. They're 1-5, aren't they?
1-4-1.
Oh, okay. They're 1-4. Like, really? Like, hasn't that worn off, this Tortorella as, Mr. Big? Like, I don't know. What are we doing here?
I had my issues with Tortorella last year. I didn't like the way he handled Couturier's benching when the guy was your captain. He's been here. He gives it his all.
I put him on a fourth line this year.
He put him on a fourth line wing at some point this season.
Yeah.
Already. I don't know. Tortorella, people love him. I'm not sure I am.
I'm a little tired of the perception. Like, when do they actually, like, oh, they're going to be good? Really? Well, what's going on in here? What kind of a start is this?
It's been an ugly start. It sucked the excitement out of the start of the season.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I tried to warn fans a couple weeks ago. People were saying that this was a playoff team. They're not. They're very young. You got to just kind of enjoy the ups and downs of the season. They're growing.
The coach is such a miracle worker, he can turn you into a playoff team. Like, we were lauding them a couple years ago when they made that run, and all of a sudden they fell off the cliff.
Yeah, last year was pretty disappointing down the stretch.
All right.
I'm with you,
I'm
man.
just saying. All right, let's go to Brian, Northeast Philly. Brian, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Brian? Brian. All right. Brian, no home.
Good, because it said he agreed with you. So
really? All right. Darren is calling from somewhere in Pennsylvania. What's up, Darren?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good, Darren. How are you?
Good. I'm with you. I don't think that Embiid should be not playing and saying that he's not going to play. Did they have to put that out there?
No. He says what he wants to say. I get it. But, like, if I'm a leader and I'm coming into a year that's supposed to have some promise, the last thing I want people to think about is me not playing in back-to-backs. It's like he wants to make the focus on him preserving his own health, which is fine. I get it, but the people don't have to, like, buy into it. Like, are we supposed to be conditioned to, well, our expectations have to be low for the regular season because he's not going to play a lot of the games. He's warning us that he needs this time off to preserve himself. I don't want to hear that.
And doesn't it make them look weak a little bit, right?
It's not a good way to come into a season. I like, we're thinking more of him not playing, and we have to survive this regular season. Gosh darn it, because he's got to be healthy for the playoffs. Like, that's the last message I want to hear.
Right. I just can't believe that they got us all hyped up with Paul George coming over, and they got all these new assets, and they're just like, oh, we're not going to play. Like, after seeing what Boston did, and even the Lakers, I think their star players should want to play that, especially that opening game.
Yeah, but it's not important anymore. What's important is surviving and getting to the
end. I wanted to let you know something from earlier too. You guys had me in stitches when you guys were talking about the Unabomber, and it feels like the Oklahoma bomber, and you started snapping on. That was.
Yeah, there were two different bombers, for crying out loud. One was the Unabomber who sent cryptic messages through the mail. The other guy had a truck that he pulled in front of an office building in Oklahoma City.
I was only asking for clarification. What happened? He didn't want to do.
All bombers aren't the same, Bill.
He didn't want to do general knowledge, our man.
He hung up. He hung up, and I was going to get into the movie character since you suggested it.
We should give Ray one just for fun.
No, this is not fun. This is going to get an actual question. This is not funsies.
He's got no shot.
We don't play for funsies. What do you think this is? The preseason?
Ray has no shot.
What do you think this is? Opening
I'm
night?
going to try to give Ray a movie character that he can get, or he should be able to get, and I'll take it from a sports movie.
I think you can give him like a Disney character.
Ray has seen sports movies. In fact, I'll give one to Ray right now because he's got to catch up, right?
Yeah, he's down by 2.
All right, Ray. Here it is. The movie character is Norman Dale.
And what we
Norman Dale. He was a coach in a sports movie.
Hoosiers?
Correct. Gene Hackman's part in Hoosiers.
Wow.
How about that?
I think that was a guess, but a good guess.
Was that a guess?
Well, it was an informed guess. I thought the name of the coach in Hoosiers was Norm. So I went Norman Dale. All right, yeah.
No, who was the star shooter in the Hoosiers?
Yeah, no. I've seen it. I can't tell you the name of it.
Missed 2 shots during the whole course of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Missed 1 on the dirt playground that he shot at, the dirt basket, and missed 1 in the championship game.
Now, see, yeah, I can't in good conscience do this.
Someone put it on the board.
Petrelli's trying to help me out in the back here.
Yeah.
And I appreciate Petrelli.
And it's wrong.
Okay.
He pretty right. Charlie writes Jimmy Fleetwood. It's Jimmy Chitwood.
Thanks a lot, Brendan.
Tommy Fleetwood is a golfer. He mixed it up. 610-632-0975. A lot of people I work with here. I swear to God, we're back after this. Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Yeah, a little spooky music as we head towards the home stretch. A little spooky. You know, a little dramatic.
Getting close to Halloween.
Yes, it is, and we're getting close to the Sixers opener. And the mystery music plays. How good are they going to be? They've got two of the big three not in the lineup tonight. But I think somehow they're going to win the game. I don't know how. But
Tyrese Maxey.
I think they're going to win the game.
What do you think Maxey needs to drop tonight for them to win?
Yeah, 30. You got to get contributions from like the three men. You know, like Oubre's got to go maybe 20.
So Oubre's a plus 150 to score 20, and
he?
Maxey's a plus 105 to score 30.
Well, there you go.
That may not be a little same game parlay right
That's
there.
a pretty good parlay right there.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, you asked me about my podcast. The latest episode is out.
Yes, you interviewed the sister.
I thought I mentioned that yesterday, maybe.
You
maybe
mentioned. I didn't know if it was released.
The episode 10, where I talked to the sister of the murdered girl, Carol Ann Doherty. Her sister's name's Kay. We finally were able to connect, and she told her story on how it impacted her life and the lives of her family, and it got very emotional. So. The podcast is a little different than most of the other ones where I got into the suspects and got dramatic about the suspects. This is letting her tell her story, and she got very emotional. Now, she was only 2 years old when this happened, but one of the stories she told me, which hit me, was the mother had first gone to the church to find her daughter when she didn't come home. And the mother went in the church and didn't go into the upstairs landing. And so we looked around the church, and she wasn't in there. So she came back and went home, and then the father put them all in the car and drove to the church. So she remembers being in the car out front of the church with her mother when her father went into the church and found the murdered daughter, and how the father came out hysterical. And,
oh, my God.
And the whole bit. And she remembered that. So, and it just... It was very emotional. So if you listen to it, just keep that in mind that this is the impact this thing had on so many other people, but directly on the family and the human side of that whole thing. And again, there's going to be Saturday is the CBS Saturday morning show on the podcast, which I'm grateful for that they actually showed enough interest to do something on.
Saturday.
It'll be on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock.
On CBS.
Yeah, CBS Saturday morning.
Get to see Bill spilling coffee.
Well,
Bill's not getting up.
Yeah, hopefully they cut that out.
Bill, this is a DVR for Bill. This is not. You're not getting up to watch it, are you?
I get up early, man.
Yeah?
I can't sleep in.
You get up early, have a little coffee, tune in to the CBS Saturday morning?
Probably.
Oh, good.
I can't sleep in, even
DVR
on
for
days
me.
off.
How about you, Ray?
DVR.
No, Ray.
I'm not up at 8.
After a Friday night,
yeah,
Ray?
Let's.
That's right. He's got a new.
Let's call it what it is.
He's got a new squirrel.
Yeah, so maybe he actually will be up because he'll have a nice early night after his. What is this? The 7th date now?
Yeah.
Can we keep counting dates?
You guys keep adding numbers here.
What are you doing Friday? You got a date lined up?
Whoa.
Wait. It's a legit question. You got a date lined up for Friday night?
Listen, we're locked into a pretty intense game of General Knowledge Wednesday.
It's just the question.
I don't want to take away from
you have
the
a date on
listeners'
Friday
time.
or not? You decide it could be Friday, could be Saturday. Are you dating her this weekend?
This week.
Oh, this week. So no weekend for you?
I mean, could be the weekend. I'm a one date at a time type of guy.
So one date leads to another.
Well, yeah. I mean, at this point, yeah. At this point, I anticipate further dates down the line. But
Ray hasn't answered this question, but the easiest thing to know is, did you deactivate your dating apps? And if the answer is yes, then we know how serious this is for Ray.
I will say, for the people that have swiped upon me, profile no longer exists.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Serious. So have you asked? Have you said you doing anything Friday? Have you asked that question yet?
Well, no, because I'm already here with the first. I want to go one date, and then
Are you seeing her tonight?
No personal questions at this time.
Wow.
You're seeing her tonight. So tonight, at the end of the date, will you say, are you doing anything Friday?
Or I'll
That's the
say
way
it
it could-
tomorrow, or
Oh, wait, he'll say it
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
What do
No,
what
I
do
mean,
you
like,
think
texting tomorrow.
She's
Let's
sitting
not
there
turn
waiting
this-
for you to ask her again to go out on
She's
Friday?
got a life too. It's not like she's just sitting around making.
I took that as Ray would ask her over breakfast tomorrow.
No, see, I knew how you'd take that.
That's what I thought he meant.
I'm not going to say.
All right, Ray,
I know how you'd take that.
How many dates before me and my wife get invited for a little double date dinner, man? That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to meet this young lady.
How many dates?
Double date dinner. It's like Goodfellas.
Michael.
Yeah, I do better.
Michael Joy.
I do better with a little Manischewitz when they were looking at my table. I just got to Steele in Ocean City. Steele, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Steele.
Good afternoon, man.
What's up, Steele?
I'll tell you what's up, Mike Miss. What a stunning, lovely day on the Ocean City.
I can imagine. What's the weather? What's the temp out there?
It's a little, I would say 68.
A little
Sunny.
chilly. A little chilly.
Yeah, it's a sweatshirt and board shorts.
There's nothing like a sweatshirt with the shorts or, like sweatpants walking the beach.
Mike, it's just me. It's just me. I think you might have. It's just me and the seagulls and
that's beautiful.
And a beautiful radio of 97.
That's fantastic. That's living, Steele.
Any albatross down there?
I'm sorry?
I'm just kidding, Steele.
Did you see an albatross? No.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of them down here.
Oh, look at the pelicans!
Don't shoot one. It's bad luck.
Fly, pelicans, fly!
Hey Phil, real quick. I've been listening. You don't let that talented liberal talk down to you.
Oh.
All right, no. Mike knows what I'm talking about.
I happen to be a registered independent.
Okay. All right.
What is your Sixers point?
I'm sorry if I upset.
No. I was saying you got it wrong.
No.
Okay. Fine.
Mike is a delight.
Everybody likes to put me in a box.
Mike's a delight to work with. We agree on everything, Steele. We agree on everything, me and Mike.
Yeah, I got that. All right, real quick question. Is Embiid fat? F-A-T?
No.
Why is it?
Not
why
fat.
Isn't it,
He's just. I think he needs to be sleeker.
Mike, why isn't? I feel so bad for these season ticket holders. Not that these people go to see basketball, they love it, but that's really a travesty that this guy's not playing. I mean, it really is. He played in the Olympics. He should be ready to go. And it's
not a travesty as much as it is a bad message for the season.
I'm sorry?
It's not as much a travesty as it is a bad message for the season.
Well, it all runs together. These guys are paying hard-earned money to see these guys play, and all of a sudden, game one, guess what? I can't go.
Yeah,
it's not right. Plus, didn't he just sign an extension?
Yeah.
He's making $51 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's egregious. But
all right, let me give you a general knowledge question, Steele.
Go ahead, Mike.
Since I gave Ray a movie question with a sports character, I'm going to give you a movie character that is a sports character. The character's name is Lance Harbor.
Lance Harbor?
Football movie. Lance Harbor.
How about a Florida question? I love you guys.
All right, you're out. Steele's out. Lance Harbor was the Paul Walker character in
Varsity Blues?
Correctamundo. Ripped up his knee. Mox comes in to save the day.
Man, I haven't seen Varsity Blues in a long time.
Good movie. Solid movie.
Now, real quick, back to the Sixers thing.
Uh-huh.
So Steele says, all of the sudden, right? All of the sudden now he can't go in the opener. That's what has me the most frustrated is there's no way in hell that anyone can convince me that this is
all in the sudden.
All of the sudden, he said. All of the sudden.
You said all of the sudden.
All of the sudden. What did I say, right?
All of a sudden.
I don't know.
You said it's all of a sudden. You said all of the sudden.
Yeah, all of the sudden, I said. It's not that. It's all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I've ADD'd with the YouTube chat now.
Wait
I'm
a
having a
second.
Bill moment over here.
Wait, is it all of the sudden or all of a sudden?
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's all of a.
It's not all of the.
the.
He's checking it. He can't. He's like he can't.
Wow.
Just get
the correct phrase is all of a sudden. Dude, 41 years I've been saying all of the sudden.
All of the sudden?
Weren't you
all
also
of
with
the sudden.
Piecemeal?
Doesn't even make any sense.
Piecemeal is also you, right? From the artist that brought us Piecemeal, we got
Man.
all of the sudden.
All of the sudden.
All of the sudden. Now, all of a sudden, I lost my
You've
point.
been saying that for 40
years I've been saying all of the sudden.
Oh,
what the hell is going on here?
all right.
Anyway,
Well,
you can't convince me that this was all of a sudden. The Sixers knew Joel wasn't going to be ready. They knew weeks ago. But why wait until 48 hours before the home opener?
Because they don't think they need to say it to their fan base. They think that, all right, you're just going to be conditioned. This is just like anything else. We're going to tell you that he's not going to play, and we're not going to give you a reason for it because it's our thing. And I go, nah, it's kind of the fan base's thing as well. That's the only thing. You can't shut out your fan base like this by saying, like, you hold all the cards and they just have to like it. All right, Johnny's in Florida. Johnny, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
How about it, Mike?
Johnny.
Glad you're back. Glad you're back, dude. Appreciate y'all. You keep me entertained out here doing landscaping, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Hey, real quick, shout out to Ray on his relationship exploits. Way to go. And, hey, man, I wanted to touch on something. I've enjoyed both of y'all's back and forth, but would y'all agree that the NBA is probably the foremost players-driven league?
Yeah.
Out of all the big four?
Yeah.
So what's the likelihood that, and will we agree that JoJo can be a bit of a diva and kind of a troll?
He totally can be a diva. I mean, I've been told that by people in the building.
Right.
Now, so what are you saying? Like, maybe that he shouldn't have said that he's not playing back-to-backs? Like, you know, that
No. Look, how about read between the lines when you played that Nick Nurse clip, right? You're listening to him, and he just sounds flustered. He's pissed off.
Yeah.
What can I tell you? What can I say, guys? It's a players-driven league. If your star player with his contract's telling you, hey, I don't want to play. I got a baby at home.
Yeah.
I got my hey, whatever it is. He might be out jogging and playing pickup ball. We don't know, but he played in the Olympics, right?
Yeah, and he's done all the workouts with him. And, like, I don't know how much basketball he's actually played, but I think you're suggesting that he said, I'm not ready yet. And so players do that every now and then.
That's right. And maybe it's selfish and it sucks for the fans. I mean, I don't pity the ticket holders. I wish I could be one, right? But at the same time, it's frustrating. Me and my boys got chicken wings. We were going to have an early night, watch the game, and now I'm hammering the.
So you're a Sixer fan and not a Heat fan?
Oh, hell no. No, well, my whole family's up the East Coast, so we got people in Blackwood, Cherry Hill.
All right, I got you. All right, I hear you. All right,
so
Johnny.
4 for 4, man. Yep.
Let me give you a general knowledge question, and it's a Florida category. As fate would have it, it's a Florida category. It's a true or false question, so you got a 50% chance to get this.
There you go.
The question is, for nearly 30 years, Florida was an independent country. True or false?
Well, that almost seems like it's leaning me toward true. You're not going to call me an airhead or a simpleton like you are your cohorts, are you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I mean, this is a hard question.
Let's say it's false. Let's say it's false.
You're saying false?
Yes, sir.
You are correct.
Yes,
it is false. Johnny from Florida says false. See, these things could be like these Florida questions. It's like, wait, are they trick questions?
It's my type of nightmare.
All right, here is your question.
This is my nightmare. These true or false? The overthinking?
All right, here's the question. Florida was part of the Confederacy. Is that true or false?
Oh. I would go true.
That is correct.
Oh.
Now, what does that do for Ray? That's still he loses though.
Well,
right?
technically,
I'm still a point behind here.
He's a point behind, but technically you're a question behind, I think. Because after we asked the Varsity Blues question, we didn't ask you a question. So technically,
that's a good point.
He gets another question.
He gets
Great
another
job by you,
question.
Bill.
Okay, then here is your question. It's a movie character question. The movie character is Andy Dufresne.
Oh, come on, Ray.
Billy boy.
I can't help you on this. If you don't know this one, Ray, I mean, this is a classic movie.
This movie is on at least 3 times a week on various channels.
I don't have cable.
It doesn't matter.
What?
If you've never seen this movie.
If your whole argument is I can flip it on any time, I can't.
I can't believe this, Ray.
The movie was based on a novel by Stephen King. I don't think that helps him.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Love my horror novels.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just,
Tim Robbins played this character.
Yes. Andy Dufresne.
I mean, you guys could keep throwing things out there in hopes that it leads me down the path, or we could just hit the buzzer.
Allegedly murdered his wife. Then he escapes from prison with the help of Morgan Freeman.
Oh.
How many clues are we going to give you?
I mean, I'm not going to give myself any credit on the point here.
Well, he loses.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
my
loses.
God.
The
Ray.
audience wins. We have a winner with the audience. It's the Shawshank Redemption.
That's what it is.
Come on, Ray.
Oh, my God. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh.
The way he doesn't get these movie questions.
Although nothing was worse than all of the sudden. So you escaped not being
all of a sudden.
You escaped, Ray.
I don't even have a closing argument except to say I'm not really happy what's going on tonight with the Sixers home opener, with Embiid not playing, because they're conditioning the audience to accept all this stuff and accept the premise that, well, the most important thing is that he's healthy for the playoffs. I don't like it. However, somehow I feel the Sixers are going to win this game tonight, and then we're going to face the music. All the people say, "Oh, you don't know anything. See? They won the game, and they had the benefit of resting Joel for the long haul." That's what's going to happen. That's my closing argument. Bill, you got anything?
All I got is that closing argument was brought to you by Lowenthal and Abrams Attorneys. Injured in an accident? Call 1-800-876-LAWYER or visit LowenthalAbrams.com. And, Mike, who's our winner today?
Our winner is Nick Beam, not to be confused with Jim Beam, which is what I need after this show. Nick Beam, congratulations.
Nick Beam's going to the Sixers to boo Tobias Harris a week from
That's
today.
correct. They're playing the Detroit Pistons, so congratulations to Nick Beam. That was a good gift. We got 2 Sixers tickets. Even though we've been killing the Sixers, we love them. That's we kill because we love.
Yeah.
That's like I'm invested in the Sixers. I have been a Sixers guy since I was knee high. You know? I've always been a Sixers guy.
It's when you get ignored that's the problem. The fact that we're showing such passion is because we care.
Exactly. Everybody have a great rest of the night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.